Hack the Pepto. Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey, everybody, it's Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends at the Lund Mortgage Team. Did you know that the Lund Mortgage Team was founded back in 1999? That's right. They're celebrating 25 years in existence this year. And you know what you have to do to stay in business that long? You have to be good at what you do. And the Lund Mortgage Team is not just good, they are great. They have helped thousands of people save thousands of dollars over those 25 years here in the Valley of the Sun. They only lend in Arizona. And they're mortgage brokers, which means they can shop your rate around. They're not tied to just one set of rates. Mortgage rates can get crazy. They can get high. They can get low. There's good times to strike, and there's times to stay on the sideline. Let the Lund Mortgage Team be your coach, be your team leader when it comes to these huge decisions. Call 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940, or you can always check them out at lundmortgage.com. Great website with all the tools you need. Call them today. They're my great friends, and you'll love them. It's the Lund Mortgage Team.
Moments like my daughter telling me a new joke mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
When life gets overwhelming, but you just don't feel like talking, help is only a text away. Trained and caring crisis specialists are available by text 24/7 to assist with suicidal thoughts, substance use issues, depression, anxiety, and more. You are never alone. When you need help, please text HOPE to 4HOPE. From anywhere in Arizona, text the word HOPE to 44673. This message is sponsored by Solari Crisis and Human Services.
KQSN Tempe, also transmitting on K25CDP at 99.3 FM, K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
People settle down because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody. It's Monday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White. Well, I'll explain where he is in a minute. Keon Rose is right there in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Ralph from Harman Solar says he's going to join us sometime around 4 o'clock. So, you know, you can set your alarm if you want to turn off the radio. I understand. But here's the thing with Randy. Here's what happened with Randy. Randy was not expecting the 100-degree temperatures that hit on Sunday. It was 100 and damn degrees yesterday. For the first time, Steve McLaughlin from Channel 5, I saw him verify that on the Twitters. And so it's officially hot-ish. No. Let me rewind that. It's hot season, but it's not hot. We've determined that. What did we determine? Until it's 100 and what? It's not hot.
Oh, I don't even remember. We talked about this forever, and
it's been a while since we've had to talk about it. So
I think it was 105 or 110. We're like, it ain't hot until it's 110.
I think it was 110.
Yeah,
if I'm recalling correctly.
Because it just was like they flipped the switch on us. Usually there's more of a lead up, and then all of a sudden, bam, there it is. And I guess I wasn't really paying that close attention to the 92, the 93, the 95, the 97, whatever. All of a sudden it just, and I was out of town for a few days. So I came back to just like, woof, really feeling it. So, 100 degrees, we're going to be praying for 100-degree days soon. We're going to miss 100-degree days soon.
Yeah, that's why I'm not even getting upset about anything. I'll take 100.
How's your air conditioning holding up?
Good right now.
Yeah.
Ask me again in 2 months.
Got to get a can of that stuff.
Yeah,
the recharge stuff. So anyway, today is Earth Day, and I did celebrate it yesterday by idling my V8 truck for about 45 minutes. It was not on purpose. I just happened to be sitting there waiting. We were waiting to get into a restaurant, the wife and I, and I'm like, happy Earth Day, hon. By the way,
you can't burn to death, so
I fit right in because Arizona is the third from last eco-friendly state in the entire country. We are third from last for being eco-friendly.
I think that is not our fault.
How is it not our fault?
The amount of energy we use is like a direct connection to how much sunlight we have to fight against for 4, maybe 5 months out of the year.
So let me tell you what I say to the people who live in the floodplains or the tornado alleys. My whole thing is, well, why do you live there, dumbass? So you could say the same thing to us. Well, if the heat is so bad that you're spending all this money on air conditioning, it's polluted. Why do you live here, dumbass? I wonder why this dumbass, me, why do I live here? So, we choose to, but still haven't figured that out. But we are third worst eco-friendly. Do you know who the most eco-friendly is? The most uneco-friendly.
The most?
Yeah, the worst.
Texas?
South Carolina.
No.
And then Tennessee.
I should have guessed Tennessee.
And then us. We're amongst the well-educated, aren't we?
I've lived in 2 out of 3 of those states.
By the way, also Ohio and Alabama. Not great. Not great. So I don't know what it means to be eco-friendly because I live in Arizona. So, but whatever they're saying, and listen, if you don't want to observe Earth Day, that's fine. My message every Earth Day is exactly the same. Hey, everybody, happy Earth Day. Don't go throwing your gum on the ground. That's it. That's all I got.
That's all you got.
That's all we need to know. It's just, don't be a pig. But today, more importantly, I think, is National Jelly Bean Day. It's national. Do you like jelly beans?
I do like jelly beans.
I like the classic ones, though. I don't like these little weird flavored ones. I like the classic jelly beans we used to get for Easter. Just regular jelly beans. Back in the days of Ronald Reagan sitting there eating jelly beans. And then now they got all these different weird flavors, and then they get gross flavors on purpose and stuff like that. Nah, just give me a good old fashioned jelly bean. I'm pretty happy. That's like the precursor to gummy bears. I know you probably don't think so, but it kind of is if you think about it.
I mean, it makes sense. It does make sense.
They're nothing alike, but it just kind of reminds me of that because that's my new thing is eating gummy worms lately. I just like a couple of gummy worms. It just satisfies
gets the job done.
Yeah,
it's the sweet tooth. It accepts gummy worms.
So you can observe the Earth Day, or you can observe the jelly bean thing. Just don't care. Just whatever you want to do. Live your best life. Because why else would we live in this place called America? I don't know why we live in Arizona, but I know why we live in America.
Good point.
Big George says, hello, gentlemen. Happy Monday. So are the Suns doing a cup check today after getting hit in the Manu Ginobili's by the Timberwolves Saturday? What a brutal game that was. Suns didn't even look like they were ready to play Saturday. We're going to talk about every single one of these games that happened on Saturday and Sunday. We are going to do that. But, since it was the first game and the worst game, we'll go ahead and talk about the Suns. And it was the worst game. This was the largest margin of ass kicking that anybody received or gave this entire weekend. All the scores were at least with, let's see here. It was a 2-point difference on Pelicans Thunder. There was a 15-point difference for the Pacers and the Bucks. There was a 12-point difference on Clippers Mavericks, 10 points for Heat and Celtics, 11 points for Lakers Nuggets. I can't wait to tell you how that turned out. Let's see, 7 points for 76ers and Knicks, and then 14 points for Magic and Cavaliers. Suns and Timberwolves, 25. And Donnie, I don't even want to hear from you, because here's the thing: he's gonna say we said things we didn't say and twist it.
That's the thing, is if you were clever about the stuff we actually said, that'd be one thing. But he's just gonna make stuff up.
It was depressing. I was actually in a hotel room watching with my son, and it started out pretty good. Everything's like, all right, we're cool. And then there was like a 10-point difference. You never felt like you can overcome that. And a lot of times games would go 10 points one way and then 10 points the other way. Problem was the Timberwolves kept kind of inching away and pulling away and pulling away. Next thing you know, the Suns gave up in the fourth quarter. So now I've been the guy, the voice of reason here on this show, saying, I don't know about this team. I don't know. On paper, everything looks good. Keon keeps telling me, get off the ledge. This team's going to be fine. I'm just, after that game, how can you tell me that? Don't even start by saying it's just one game.
The points don't roll over, man. Like, what do you want me to tell you? It's a series. You don't beat somebody by 25 series, and then you get to start with a 25-point lead the next game. So I'm going to tell you what I've been telling you, which is that the Suns are a high and low team. There's not a whole lot of middle with how they play. We've seen it this season. They beat the Spurs to death, they lose to the Spurs. They beat the Kings to death, they lose to the Kings. And I'm talking about the games they played back to back. So I don't know what to make of it other than they're still inconsistent, which is the way they ended the season. You hope that stuff was in the rear view mirror, but they got out rebounded bad in a way that they haven't done or haven't shown that inability to grab boards.
It wasn't just inability. It was also, they weren't trying. There was plenty of times where the ball came up and nobody even made the attempt for the rebound. And I know Gobert is big and tall. And they're like, well, there's no point to this. And Kevin Durant's like, I'm old. I don't want to get tired. But outside of that, it doesn't seem like people were really trying that hard.
I don't know about that. I mean, the game was a 4-point game whole thing in the third quarter. I watched it too. I'm just saying what I saw when I watched it was that Nurkic is the guy that they've relied on for getting a lot of these rebounds. And I thought that Minnesota did a really good job of always having two bodies boxing him out when he was trying to get a rebound. So he wasn't involved in it. Somebody else had to get there and help him. And that did not happen in that game. And that's a huge factor into why the score was what it was, because when you look at the number of shots Minnesota took, I think they took about 15 more shots than Phoenix did. So those rebounds ended up stacking up over the course of the game. And like you said, the Timberwolves inched away and the Suns weren't able to catch them.
So this was the kind of play I've been afraid of the entire time. Didn't expect it to happen in game one. I didn't expect it to be this bad. And so I don't know. You're going to have to let me read some text, but we'll dive a little deeper into what you saw. Donnie wants me to give him a howl. Hell, if that ever happens.
We
are not a show that has sat here. Keon's been very positive, but he hasn't been delusional. This is not a show who has promised you, they're going to sweep the Wolves. We would love it if they did. We would love it because you would be on a ledge somewhere yourself. We've never promised a thing. We've never, all the crap you say, we've never said. I've never said. But, I ain't going to say anything you want me to say. I'm not going to howl for you. Kiss my ass, Donnie. You just do that right here. Pucker up on my big white ass. He says, Anthony Edwards, Jeffrey, say his name. Yeah, I loved him in ER. And then he was also in Top Gun, the original. Love you, Goose. But you act like I really care about what happens with this and your team. Because here's the thing. Doesn't matter which team wins this series. Neither team's going to win the chip. That has been my prediction, and I hate saying that as a Suns fan. But I love saying that because it's true about your team as well, Donnie. Whatever happens next, you ain't going nowhere with this. Baker's cocky hens. You are correct, sir. He says Durant looked pretty good, 31 points. Yes, he did. And he seemed kind of like he was just sort of amused at Anthony Edwards, just kind of like, all right, pal, whatever. It was all just good fun. Sometimes he got a little chippy in there. But yeah, Kevin Durant showed up, like I always said, with his lunchbox ready to work, right? He's like, here to do my job. Booker did not do very well. Booker was really struggling for a lot of that game. But that might be what Baker's cocky hen says. Yeah, Book looked like playoff Book. Shut down. Suns were heading the right way, and then Booker messed it all up by hanging out with that Jenner girl. He didn't say hanging out.
I don't. That has nothing to do with it. I just don't understand.
He hasn't been with her for a while. Baker's cocky hens.
I mean, I thought you were going to say an actual basketball thing. Like he was incredibly inefficient, and he just kept right on shooting. Like at some point, if the shots aren't falling,
don't
move the basketball. But he's getting guarded tightly. I mean, he's creating his own space and all of that, and he's taking some of these incredibly difficult shots, and he can make them because he's Devin Booker. But when he's not making them, they're just bad shots.
So Devin Booker was 18 points, 5 for 16. Oof. Missing 11 shots. Bradley Beal only had 15 points. The rebounding, like you said, 52 to 28. And, they got owned in the paint by the Wolves, 52 to 34. So let me just say, okay, if Booker has a bad game, where the hell was Bradley Beal? Isn't this thing? It's a trio, and 2 out of 3 should be doing well. And instead, 1 out of 3 was doing well. The other 2 looked like bench players. So what the hell happened?
I think that like when things start getting out of hand, I just feel like Bradley Beal feels like he's the third banana. He kind of shrinks, which really stinks. Like I still think that there's an element of not wanting to step on Devin Booker's toes going on there. Bradley Beal had 15 points, but he only took 10 shots. You're 6 of 10. Like you want him to take more shots because he's shooting pretty efficiently. And I want him to be more assertive. Whereas Booker, his 18 was an inefficient 18. You're taking a lot of shots. The team's not rebounding well. So every miss you chuck up there is just another possession for Minnesota. And so I kind of want them to swap bodies a little bit. I want a little bit more of assertive Beal. I want Devin Booker to kind of take a step back when the shots aren't falling. If they're falling, be Book. But if they're not falling, you've got to figure out either I'm getting to the basket, I'm forcing, the defense to foul me, or I'm giving the ball up to somebody else. Because I am shooting us out of this game, and that's kind of what happened.
So, is there an update on Grayson Allen and his ankle? Whatever the hell happened there? He wasn't doing very good himself leading up to the injury. I guess he got kicked in the ankle or something. Wasn't intentional, but he actually put a hurt, an elbow into the face of that beardy guy. I already forgot his name. The beardy guy. Who's the beardy guy? I can't remember. But he about knocked a guy out. And then next thing you know, he's off the court. And they say sprained ankle. How do you get a sprained ankle when somebody kicks it? Or did it just like buckle under him and that just looked like it? I don't know.
Yeah.
SOL says that Anthony Edwards bit got me good. Well, if that's sarcasm, okay, if it's honest, well, thank you. If it's sarcasm, I don't blame you. Baker's cocky hen says the Suns need a dude. I got thinky wheel happening, like Jimmy Butler. Yeah, that'd be nice. Who runs the show? They got a bunch of passive dudes who don't know how to lead anything. That's an interesting. They all will at points lead by the example of their play. Like you said, if Booker had gotten hot, we wouldn't be having this conversation. That would have been probably the difference maker. But you're not wrong, Baker's cocky hens. You're not wrong. We don't have a defined leader, and maybe that's just a bunch of stars who are just trying to be polite. Like Chip and Dale. Oh, no, after you. Oh, no, after you. Indubitably, after you. That's not going to get the job done. You're right. I think we do need a definitive leader on that court. So what do you know about Grayson Allen, other than he's an a-hole?
Grayson Allen, the X-rays were negative.
For him being an a-hole or for the ankle?
For the ankle. I don't think an X-ray can really tell you that particular.
After seeing him play at Duke, there's no way that's coming back negative.
No, I'm pretty sure that would have to be a faulty test. They'd have to try it again.
He may be an a-hole, but he's our a-hole, and we're hoping that he comes back and plays like he can.
Yeah, I think they need him to. Just for the depth of having a guy that can shoot like that. Like I thought Royce O'Neal came in, filled in very well, did his job very well. But it's nice to have the depth of Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal out there instead of pulling Royce O'Neal from where he normally is, which is coming off of the bench. Like that is part of how this whole thing is going to work well. But yeah, they need Grayson Allen back out there. They're going to see how he responds to treatment. They seem to think that he should be ready to go for game 2, though.
Oh, really? I'm surprised, actually.
But we shall see.
Right. Billy Ray from Avondale says Bradley Beal will have a bounce-back game tomorrow. He'll score at least 25 points, and the Suns will win, and everybody will be back on the bandwagon tomorrow. First off, it's not a bandwagon when you're a fan. I'm a fan, but I can also be realistic and critical as much as I can shower them with praise. But here's the thing. Bradley Beal comes back and has a 25-point game. Now you start wondering, well, is Kevin Durant going to have a bad game? It's just I haven't seen all three of these cylinders firing all together that often.
That last game against the Timberwolves.
Well, I said that often.
Yeah, and I just it's not that they're not all firing, because I think you have to look at the percentages when these guys shoot. It's not just who's scoring the most points. If one of them scores 30 points, but he takes 30 shots to do it,
right,
that's bad. But if he takes 15 shots to do it, well, okay, we might actually have something here, because that means the other guys are getting to shoot too. Even if they're not getting 30, you're not giving, the opponent second chance the opportunity to take the ball from you in the form of being out rebounded or anything else, turnovers and all that.
So on tomorrow's game, that's where you find out if you have a coach. That's where you find out if the Suns have an actual coach, or if Vogel can actually help the situation, because they need some coaching. They need some planning. They need to figure out, because the defense of the Timberwolves is undeniably the best in the NBA, and they have to figure out how to get back to doing what they've done to them the whole rest of the season. They found a way to beat the best defense in the NBA 3 times in the regular season. So they got to get back to that and figure out, how do you deal with Gobert and his rebounds and just taking out the trash underneath? They had so many points in the paint, 52 points in the paint by the Wolves and 34 by the Suns. So you got to figure out how to take Gobert out of it. You need to figure out Towns. You got to figure out Anthony Edwards.
Even Jaden McDaniels, because he's 6'10", so they had 3 guys 6'10" and taller out on the floor.
I feel like they're a more talented team, to be honest. I think we have more talented stars, but I think they are a more talented team overall. You got to figure out how to beat that. And if Keon has any ideas on that, we'll hear from him when we come back. Then as well, we're going to talk about every single one of these playoff games that happened over the weekend. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Major League Baseball tonight. The Arizona Diamondbacks are in St. Louis to begin a 3-game series with the Cardinals. It'll be Brandon Pfaadt going up against Lance Lynn. The Diamondbacks minus a run and a half, plus 158 on the run line. Cardinals getting a run and a half, minus 192. On the money line, Arizona minus 104, St. Louis minus 112, with the over-under at Busch Stadium at 8.5. NBA playoffs, the Phoenix Suns in Minnesota for game 2 of that series on Tuesday night. Minnesota leading the series 1-0. Phoenix a 3-point underdog on the road, plus 130 on the money line. Timberwolves minus 154. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Chris Christopherson. Before they were legends, they were lost souls looking for their sound. You want to be a songwriter?
No, Willie, you are a songwriter.
Discover the true, untold story of Sue Brewer, the extraordinary woman behind outlaw country music, starring Mandy Moore and featuring T.J. Osborne.
They call it the Boar's Nest. It's just my apartment, but you never know who'll show up.
In a new scripted Audible original.
Any advice?
Yeah, distill something whiskey can't.
The Boar's Nest, Sue Brewer and the birth of outlaw country music. Listen on Audible.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every basket, every game, every point, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a three-pointer at the buzzer to tie the game, or a player goes 2 for 2 at the foul line. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. AZ Preps 365, your source for all the news, info, highlights, and more. Athlete news and interviews. Talk with coaches. Keep you up to date with the changes, moves, upcoming events, and more. AZ Preps 365, Arizona's ultimate prep sports show. If you miss a minute, you miss a lot. AZ Preps 365, Saturday mornings 8 till 10 on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Today's Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. So, yeah, with the surprise 100-degree day Randy did not see coming, he is on the roof and he's working on the equipment for his weather center. I just don't understand why he just doesn't use his phone, but well, okay, whatever. He took it pretty hard. He took it pretty hard that he missed that Sunday would be 100 degrees. What did he say Friday? He said it was going to be how many more days till we had 100 degrees? He just kind of blew it.
Yeah, I think he said that it was going to be like a week or something before we got to it, but about 7 days early.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, but I'm sure that there's absolutely nothing to do with this climate change stuff. No, we're good. 888-368-1580. So do you have any more thoughts on the Timberwolves and Suns? And where's your confidence level going into Tuesday?
I mean, right now, my confidence level is still the same because the Suns are inconsistent. They usually do bounce back pretty well.
Well, guess what you can't do if you're inconsistent? You can't win. You can't win a series.
You can win series. It's just you're going to make it harder than it needs to be, and eventually you're going to run into a team where you're not going to get second chances. I don't know if the Timberwolves are the team that will punish you for giving them multiple opportunities. I just don't know that. This Timberwolves squad is kind of odd to me because Karl-Anthony Towns wasn't there a lot of the year. And then he came back at the end and it looked kind of shaky. And then it looked in game one like he didn't miss a beat. So I'm not sure exactly what to make of the Timberwolves, but when it comes to the Suns, like they know that they have to play a whole lot better. And that starts in the paint, grabbing boards. That's the adjustment I'm trying to make if I'm Frank Vogel. How do I counter either the size of the Timberwolves or how do I get the kinds of shots that don't result in a bunch of rebounds for that team? Like maybe we're just not going to shoot as many long jumpers because those are rebounds that favor the Timberwolves to have to go chase after.
Yeah. And maybe it's not too late to get DeAndre Ayton back.
Even if you had him, I don't know that that'd help. If you saw what he was doing in Portland this year, it was ugly.
No, I was kidding.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
All right, so I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow. Again, I know I sound like I don't like the Suns, but I am a fan, and it's been frustrating all season. And then, have you noticed that I'm not saying anything different? I have been very consistent, as Keon has been as well. I have not said anything different about this. I don't have a lot of faith in the inconsistencies of the Suns. So I know, Keon's doing math. He's like, well, if you're inconsistent today, well, that means tomorrow you'll be good, and maybe the next day, and then his math is positive for the Suns inconsistencies. Mine is negative. And that's just the way I see it. All right, let's go on to the next game that happened on Saturday. I think, yes, Magic and Cavaliers were the next game. No, wait. I'm a little confused because the next game on my TV was 76ers and Knicks. So I don't think I've got these listed in chronological order.
No, because I actually think Cavs Magic was the first game.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
So let's not worry about that. Let's just talk about Magic and Cavaliers. By the way, did you watch every single game?
I did not watch every single game, but I did watch most of them.
I had to go to a track meet, and then I had to go watch a mud race, and then I went to a Earth Day. There was nothing else to do. Went to an Earth Day thing in a park, and then it was right next to the 420 the day at the park. So it was like one moment you're walking through, watching people talk about the environment, and then you're sitting there watching some really stoned people talk about everything. And it was just I would have sat my ass on my couch this weekend and watched every single one of these games if I could, but I just couldn't. But we can at least fill you in on what happened. So the Cavaliers beat the Magic 97 to 83. And it looks like that game was won in the second and third quarters by some, I don't know, was this a defensive-minded kind of game? Because 15 points in the second quarter for the Magic, 17 points in the third. What the hell happened there?
Yeah, the Magic went ice cold is what happened there. They're a much better shooting team than what they showed. Honestly, both of these teams shot very poorly from three, and they both shot a lot of threes. 8 of 30 for Cleveland, 8 of 37 for Orlando. Like they are a team that kind of relies on 3-point shooting to keep them in games, and they didn't have that. And it really showed. You add the fact that Donovan Mitchell just got rolling. So sometime in the second quarter, Donovan Mitchell got going, and he didn't stop. And I don't know that Orlando had a whole lot of answers for that. It looked funny. You said it was a defensive game. It reminded me of a score from like 2005. Like I just haven't seen an NBA playoff game end 97-83 in quite a few years. So the refs were actually letting them play.
Well, it wasn't exactly the only low scoring game this weekend, but yeah, it is a rarity.
Yeah, I think we're going to see more of it. The officials have not been calling a lot of the ticky tack stuff that they have in years past. It seems like the NBA has realized how little people want to watch games with no defense. And you had to allow some of these defenders to be able to make contact with the ball handler, or they're not going to be able to defend. And we're seeing what can happen when the league actually allows that to happen.
All right. So the Cavaliers up one game over the Magic. Then the game that I started watching after, which I found really fascinating, was the Knicks and the 76ers. And the Knicks, of course, win 111 to 104. But, it was interesting to watch. And then again, now the 76ers looked like they lost that game in the second quarter. They only scored 12 points right there. But it was actually fun to watch Joel Embiid. And, I feel like I was talking to my son. I said, it just feels like, again, I'm going to say the same thing I said about Suns Timberwolves. It feels like the 76ers just got a lot of talent on that team, but the Knicks, have a couple of guys. Now, in this case, it worked in favor of the Knicks, but the 76ers, they were looking really good there, most of the first half until they hit the wall in the second.
Yeah, and that's part of a function, I think, of Embiid. And this is one of the games I had to go back and watch the highlights of. But I think that's a function of Embiid just having his knee get dinged up again.
Oh, yeah. That happened later in the game when I didn't see that. So what's the story on him?
He's still playing. Like, just unless he's going to do so much damage that he can't walk again, I think Joel Embiid's going to run back out there. There's blood coming from his leg, but he didn't leave. So I just think that Embiid wants to be a part of this. I think he's dialed in. They have a lot of talent, but he's missed a whole chunk of the season. I mean, he's somebody who was putting up MVP caliber numbers, and pretty early in the year was disqualified from winning the MVP because he just didn't play enough games. So now he's trying to get back into the groove, and the nightmare I think that the Suns were trying to avoid by having guys come back from injury going into the playoffs is kind of where the Sixers are right now.
Well, it It was a fun game up until a point. You know what I'm saying? It was looking. By the way, did you see caffeinated Jesus? Jason Bateman out there. Oh my God, the shaggy hair and his beard. He's sitting there on the court side, and I was just like, wow, what is going on with him? I mean, it's like, did he just? I thought that Smartless podcast was making him money, but it looked like he had a squeegee and a squirt bottle, and he was just out there out front cleaning windshields the way he looked. That was crazy the way he looked. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's for a movie or something. But it's like, is he turning into Teen Wolf 2 right now? Is that what's happening?
Okay, I see what you're talking about. That
yeah. Some people should be clean shaven.
He does not look okay.
Hey, look at this. Next game I'm going to tell you about. Oh, Lakers lost. Oh. Nuggets beat the Lakers 114-103. And you can tell me about it. I don't even care. I've already heard all I need to hear. They lost.
They lost, but it's a team that did everything that they could do to win, and it just didn't matter. They can't beat the Nuggets. They just can't. The
Are
Nuggets,
they going to get swept?
I think they might be. They haven't figured it out.
I don't think they will, because I want it too bad. Can you hear I tell you the karma for Donnie about his sports in Minnesota, that they're always going to fail because he's such an insufferable douchebag that his karma is great and wide and it will drag them down? Well, I've had pinned at the top of my Twitter one of my favorite little things. You remember when LeBron James fell down and then somebody handed him a towel? He was flopping, and he's like, "Oh, thank you," and he grabs the little towel and. Well, somebody superimposed a broom over the top of it.
Oh, no.
It said, Bron got swept. I think it was from Bleacher Report. And I've had that pin there since May 25th of 2023. So I worry that my delighting in the Lakers losing, like they'll win a game.
I mean,
so how realistic
is
it?
If they win a game, then what difference does that make?
I want them swept so I can leave up. I can't leave that up if they don't get swept.
It's pretty realistic. LeBron James was efficient. 10 of 16. He scores 27 points and has one of those LeBron almost like quadruple double stat lines. Then you've got Anthony Davis, scores 32 points, 14 rebounds. That's a double-double. And they lost. Like that's about as good as you could ask for from both of those guys trying to carry this team. Then D'Angelo Russell, who I think is a major factor, I think Ralph would agree, for the Lakers. He's the point guard. They need him to play well.
I'm surprised Ralph is going to come on the show later.
I am also genuinely shocked by this. I think that is, he's a brave man. He's a brave man. I got a lot of respect for him. So D'Angelo Russell played awful, and I don't think he's going to play like that again, but part of it is he's playing so badly on defense. The guy has no energy to do anything offensively. He's trying. He's just getting beat repeatedly because he's not a good defender. And so they're like just that. Austin Reeves had a okay game, I guess, but again, guy that's out there that's not a great defender. Like this is just not a good matchup for the Lakers in any way.
So it was only 11-point win. So I worry that they might screw around and win one, but I'm praying for the sweep.
I mean, they could because of how well LeBron and AD have played, but. They need help from, Shaq likes to say, the others, those role players on the squad. They need more, and I don't know where more's coming from. I'm looking at the roster right now. I don't see it.
It warms the cockles of my heart to hear you say this about the Lakers and their situation. I don't know what's going to happen with the Suns. All I can do is hope for the best, but as long as the Lakers lose, I got that. I got that. Oily Stool says, what did you say? You went to a naked woman race this weekend? Mud race? Well, you dirty dog. When did I ever say anything about naked women?
Said what?
I went to, here was this thing. And what happens is a couple of guys will push this like a little race car, but it's a cart. And then they push the guy. And he'll go through the mud and whatever. And then he goes downhill and they let go. And then the guy steers it until the next guys grab him and start running with him. So it's kind of interesting. We should do something like that. But I never said anything about nakedness. Big George says, Jeffrey, maybe keep that whole Lakers getting swept thing to yourself. Maybe keep that on the low down. Suns could face a similar fate. No, they won't. Suns will not get swept.
The Suns are not guaranteed to win their
They
series.
may not win it. They're not getting swept.
But they're not getting swept. Let's just come on, George.
I hate that I just said that out loud. I do hate that. Let's see. There's a Suns bot. Gonna skip that. Taco Kenny says, "Hey Jeffrey, go Diamondbacks, go Suns." Thanks, Taco Kenny. Even though you didn't say that. I'm not reading what you said. I refuse to read what you said. Although congratulations to Shohei Ohtani for achieving what he achieved, this weekend. He's got the record now, and I guess that's he beat Hideki Matsui. Do I say that?
Yep.
Home run record for a Japanese-born player. Ohtani had his 176th home run off the Mets, and this is his 176th Major League Baseball home run. I think he's probably got more than that from before, right? I don't know what the number is, but you have to imagine before he showed up in the United States of these Americas.
Well, yeah, he did, but of course they're not counting those. But I do think it's impressive that Shohei has been able to do this. I think in the amount of time, even because Matsui was a really good hitter, and he was a DH for the Yankees for the longest time. And, to pass him doing more or less the same job, DH, but you also had some time pitching prior to this injury, obviously, but you also had some time pitching in addition to that. It's really impressive. And I think it's really cool for Shohei.
Donnie wants you to save the soundbite of what I said about not being swept earlier.
You'll remember it, Donnie.
Yeah.
It's going to be on. Look,
at least I admit that one can bite me on the edge.
The podcast from April 22nd. You can go listen to it and find it yourself. I don't need to clip that.
Don't help him.
Don't
give him advice, Keelan.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I just don't think it's going to happen. So
we got through the 4 games that happened this weekend. We have another 4 we can talk about when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Stirring fiber, exercising, frequent trips to the store for more laxatives and fiber. Sounds like your constipation with belly pain is a lot to manage. But if your symptoms that keep coming back are signs of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C, ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-694-1010. That's 1-800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-694-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Let's say you've got questions. You're looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Well, Harman Solar has the answers. Hi, I'm Jeffrey O'Brien, and listen, there's a couple of ways you can go here. 1, visit harmansolar.com, browse around, because right across the page, they got links to all sorts of great information, like frequently asked questions, equipment, tax credits, even testimonials. Or just give them a call. 800-281-3189. Ask them directly. They'd love to hear from you. That's 800-281-3189. Or just go to harmansolar.com.
Hi, I'm State School Superintendent Tom Horn. I am making $40 million available to parents of all Arizona public and charter school students for free tutoring in reading and math, so we can raise academic proficiency, which is my highest priority. Money is available for all students in grades 1 through high school. Teachers who do the tutoring will also earn money, which they deserve. Sign up at azed.gov. Thank you.
Sponsored by the Arizona Department of Education.
1580 The Fanatic and at 1580thefanatic.com.
Your home for sports.
Today, Blender here on 1580 of the Fanatic. Hillary from Avondale says, I'm sure that Otani bet the over on that. I wonder what really is the truth about that. You know what I mean? I wonder if he does. You know, I mean, we have to take whatever it is they tell us, you know, whatever they've come up with. It seems like this guy was doing the gambling, right?
Yeah.
Seems like he was the one with the issue. But then we were like, whoa, Otani had to know about that. I don't know.
I'll believe the bookie that was sitting there going, I'm watching him walk his dog right now. Maybe I should go tell him. I'll believe that guy. Unless you think that they faked that text, which is
just to protect him. Yeah.
Which I just, at that point, then you just don't trust anything in the story. So then what's the point of even reading the details?
I don't know. I know we're making jokes about it and everything, but I wish I knew what the real deal was on that. Because so far it seems like, Otani just didn't really know what's going on, and he just trusted some people and he kind of got hosed for that. But then that cynical side of me starts to think about it. Like, how does he not know something? How do you not notice anything? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know how much I trust Major League Baseball. In fact, I do. I don't trust them.
And in how many years were they working together? They said it was a lot of years, right? Him and his interpreter?
Yeah. I mean, it would have to be for you to trust him with your money.
At some point, you'd see him, on his phone and probably glance over and be like, what the hell is that all about? How do you not see it?
Well, I think from what I was reading, it wasn't something he was doing on his phone. He wasn't pulling up stuff on FanDuel. He had bookies he called.
No, but if he was texting with a bookie or something?
Yeah, there's so many answers to that question. How do you not see it? Maybe he never did it around Shohei. Maybe he was paranoid about it. They have the little screen guards that you can actually put on your phone to where you have to be directly in front of the screen. If you're off to the side, you can't see it. Like there's a ton of ways to get around somebody noticing if you really are careful.
No, man, my kids, I'm sitting there and I look over and like my daughter was like looking at a dark screen and it looked like this and with nothing on it. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm texting my friend. So there's nothing even on your screen. And then she turned it. And all of a sudden there was something there. Mm-hmm. They have these screen protectors, which will keep it completely opaque unless you're looking right at it. And I'm like, oh, that is some sneaky stuff right there.
Yeah.
She says it's to keep people from getting passwords. I'm like, no, it's so people don't see who you're texting and what you're saying. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, which to be fair is none of their damn business usually.
Yeah, it's my kid. It is my business. You're
a parent, so like that's obviously a different situation. But like anybody that she's sitting next to, on a bus or whatever, it's not your business. So like that's, I like if you have that doesn't necessarily mean you're doing something wrong.
No, and I would bet he had that.
He probably did. It would have been wise.
My daughter she's a good girl. And I'm not worried about it. And I'm going to respect her privacy for as long as she deserves it.
Yeah, as opposed to Shohei's interpreter,
who does not deserve
does not deserve it. And,
of course, he's going to jail.
Yeah, so no more privacy for him potentially ever again.
Big George says, Jeffrey remains skeptical. Well, I'm always a little bit skeptical. He says, yeah, that is the only way to live. Well, I mean, I'm not like so skeptical that,
there's balance.
Yeah, it's just don't have your head up.
It's like you can be so skeptical you don't enjoy anything because you don't trust anything like that. You can go too far in the other direction, but you got to find the balance that works for you. Don't be completely gullible and easily taken advantage of, but also if you close every door, you're just not going to have like relationships or anything, that people enjoy in life.
Big George, thank you for that. 888-368-1580. So let's talk about what happened on Sunday. The Celtics beat the Heat 114-94. Thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I mean it went about as what we thought it would be. I do think that it was a more physical
game. That was going to be more of a blowout than anything. I thought the Celtics were going to just absolutely annihilate the Heat.
The Heat have always played the Celtics really close and really well, and I just don't think Eric Spoelstra teams get blown out very often. Okay. Just even when he doesn't have stars, like those guys play at a certain level. He's a great coach.
All right. So, any thoughts on that game? I mean, I'm like you said, as anticipated.
As anticipated, but I do think that the game was chippier than I thought it would be. There was a little back and forth there between Caleb Martin and Jason Tatum. Tatum was trash talking the whole game, and then Caleb Martin, he went up to go shoot, and Caleb Martin, stuck the hip into his side and knocked him over. Jason Tatum should probably hold back from the trash talk. He's not a tough guy. That's not his game. He's more of a finesse player. Just do that. Focus on you. Mind your own business. Because these Heat players are different. Then they're not going to sit there and let you talk crap to them and beat them by 20 and then just let that be that. They are going to do something about it.
Oh, yeah, they did. They beat them by 20. Not 25, like what happened to the Suns.
Yeah, but
by
20. By a lot.
Yeah. Navy Brad says, good afternoon, gentlemen. Good news. Soon I'll have a service dog. Her name is Stella. And he sends a picture. Oh, that's a beautiful dog. That is a badass looking dog. Beautiful dog. She does have her foot in the water bowl, though. So I'm not sure what's going on there. So, Stella, I didn't know you needed a service dog. Is that for the just to sort of make you happy kind of thing? That's awesome. That is awesome. I've met Navy Brad. He, unlike Mr. Wilbur, he has full sight. So I don't know. He doesn't need a seeing eye dog, but I guess a lot of guys that were in the military, perhaps it's for the PTSD or the ADHD or the many different forms of D. I don't know. And that'll help him. That'll help him with the ladies because that is a pretty dog right there. Wow, that's awesome, man. Good for you.
You love to see it.
Yeah, good looking dog. Pinocchio says, "Hey fellas, you think Denver's just going to give Zach Russell's old jersey to save money?" Oh, sorry. Okay, you got to separate the words in the text. He says, "Hey fellas, you think Denver is just going to give Zach Russell Wilson's old jersey just to save money?" I thought the same thing. If they send Zach Wilson to Denver like they did, we'll talk about that more later. I wondered the same thing. Just give him number 3. That way they say still have all those jerseys, and nobody's going to buy any though. That's the problem. Would you buy a Wilson jersey if you're a Denver Broncos fan? Are you wearing the Wilson jersey to a game if Zach Wilson is now there? Because you don't want to. You know what I'm saying? You're not. I don't know that anybody's wearing any kind of a Wilson jersey though, right?
No. Just like it, we've seen Zach Wilson. We'll see what working with Sean Payton does, but the fact is, if you don't fit into what Sean Payton wants to do offensively, there is no benefit from working with Sean Payton. He basically, you either fit or you don't. And I think Zach Wilson is erratic enough. He's not enough of, I think, like the kind of point guard style quarterback that Sean Payton likes to have, where Sean Payton knows where he'd like the ball to go based on how he designed the play. The ball should go there.
Well, then if he wants Zach Wilson, he wants the ball to go to defenders.
Right. Which is why I don't think they're done. I think that they're going to get another guy in the draft. I think that Zach Wilson is just kind of insurance of, we don't want to be too desperate on draft day. That's the last thing you want. So at least we have Zach Wilson, who has started in the league.
Navy Brad says the dog is a Belgian Malinois. I may call her Waffle. Well, but her name is Stella. But you can call her whatever you want to call her. But why Waffle? Just kind of curious. Quiet Cannon says, "Hey Jeffrey, you said that was a beautiful service dog. What breed was that?" Oh, I just told you. Belgian, and I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. Is it Malinois? Mayonnaise? I don't know. It's one of those things as grown ass people. Sometimes you'll go quite some time, you know a word, you've seen the word, but you've never heard the word. That happened to Keon a year or so ago.
I think it happens to me more often than
well, you're younger than me.
Yeah.
I've been around 53 years, which is enough time to hear most words, but I don't know for sure if I'm saying that right. So please correct me if I am saying it incorrect, but it's a Belgian Malinois, I'm guessing. So there you go, Quiet Cannon. Moist One says, I need a service dog for all the D I got.
Because you said for the PTSD, the ADHD, various forms of D.
I get you. Yeah.
And so here he is.
Well, congratulations. Just Average Joe says it's pronounced Malinois. Malinois. Oh yeah, because it's a French thing.
Makes sense.
Belgian Malinois. That's cool. So that's why he's going to call her Waffle. All right. Back to the basketball. Clippers 109 over the Mavericks 97, which I was happy to see because the Phoenix Suns don't have any love loss for the Mavericks. So why don't you give me your thoughts on that game, Keon?
Yeah, I was watching the game and the Clippers are as deep as advertised. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Paul George, James Harden, those guys showed up, and then there's always somebody on the Clippers who just steps up. And this case, it was Ivica Zubac, and he's done this before in the playoffs. Like he's a really solid center. You wouldn't put him in the upper echelon of guys, but he plays hard every single game, and he knows how to use his size. He knows how to operate in the paint. He does really well in the pick and roll game. I just think that he's a very versatile center and deserves a whole lot of credit for how he plays. And so even though you get big games from Luka, you get big games from Kyrie, it's just a deeper Clippers team that's playing out there. And then you get 13 points from Russell Westbrook off the bench, who just athletically, it's not fair to some of these other bench guys that have to guard Russell Westbrook. He just had an insane dunk, I think in the third quarter that just like he's 35. Like it's hard to get your head around.
Well, it's the same thing when you see LeBron do those things.
Yeah. I just the fact that he's another guy in the league who doesn't really appear to be slowing down very much is, just a testament to how hard he works.
I thought I said it right. Malinois. Tiger Paw says Malinois. Malinois. Do I have to have two L's? Malinois. Malinois.
I don't. I'm not. I thought
you bring up the Google pronunciation thing on that. All right, so let's talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo's Milwaukee Bucks and the Indiana Pacers. The Bucks won that one, 109-94. Okay, I feel like that's about expected, right?
I actually did not expect that. I thought if you didn't have Giannis out there, the Bucks had already been kind of struggling defensively, even with him on the floor. You didn't have Giannis, that it was going to make them a worse defensive team, and didn't really matter. Damian Lillard looked unstoppable. So really, no matter what you tried to do offensively as the Pacers, you were going to have to answer Damian Lillard shot for shot, and he really wasn't missing that day. I mean, 6 of 11 from three, had a really good day shooting the basketball. And anytime it looked like the Pacers were going to dig their way back out of the hole that they were in, Damian Lillard would hit some really big shots and just silence them. That's what they brought him in for. But it looked like at points this season that they were struggling defensively and that he was kind of part of the reason why. But if he's going to score like that, then it honestly will not matter.
All right, so we have very short amount of time left. So just give me your thoughts on the Thunder beating the Pelicans in a close one, 94-92.
Yeah, the Thunder, really great team. I think the Pelicans are deeper than a lot of people give them credit for, but the Thunder are young. This is their first, run into the playoffs, and being the number one seed and having a lot of pressure there. There are a lot of these guys who have been stars in waiting. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had a really good 28-point game. Jalen Williams for it in 19. And then Chet Holmgren has been, the guy that's been in the shadow of Wemby, but he's been almost as good all year long. And you got to see it all come together for the Thunder. They're going to have a lot of experience to gain, but if they can grow up fast, that's a tough out.
So there you go. All of the games from the weekend. We never get away with that doing football games. But when we come back, let's talk about the awards, the NBA awards. The finalists have been announced. And Shea Gilligan-Alexander, as you just mentioned, he's actually on there twice. I don't know how many guys are on this list twice, but he's one of them. We'll tell you all about that and discuss who should win and that sort of thing. When we come back, it's hour one is over and hour two is next. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
When you get nachos, tacos, empanadas, spicy queso with jalapenos, Pepto-Bismol's there. Pepto-Bismol provides fast, effective relief from nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea. All the things that can happen unexpectedly on vacation. So before you travel, pack the Pepto. Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey there, you in aisle 2. I see you by the fiber and laxatives. You still using those to manage your constipation with belly pain? If your symptoms keep coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. So you may need more than over-the-counter treatments to manage it. Ask your doctor about how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Everybody's got a podcast these days. Comedy, politics, true crime, you name it. But how many actually teach you anything useful? Harman Solar has an entertaining podcast that is vital if you've been thinking about looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Ralph and Ben explore the intricacies of utilities, equipment, processes, and more. Their primary objective is to educate and empower you to make informed decisions on your solar journey. So increase your knowledge, not your bills. Go check it out right now. It's the Harman Solar Podcast at harmansolar.com.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm personal price plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Life is full of bright moments, but sometimes those moments can seem too far away. Trained and caring crisis specialists in Arizona can assist you with any situation, big or small. Free and confidential help is only one text away, day or night. Text the word HOPE to 4HOPE. That's HOPE to 44673. These moments matter, and so do you. This message is sponsored by Solari Crisis and Human Services.
KQFN Tempe, also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM
and K242 Rolling Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White. He's reconfiguring his weather station because he missed the 100-degree temperatures we had on Sunday. So Ralph from Harman Solar is sitting in with us. Keon Rose is in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Ralph, sorry for your loss.
What loss?
No, I'm not. Not really.
What loss are you talking about?
Lakers getting beat by the Nuggets 114 to 103.
I was more interested in the Suns getting beat by 25, but I guess you'd already talked about that.
Oh, yeah, we talked about it. We did no need to bring that up.
Well,
No
I'd
need
like
to bring that up.
a lot. A lot I'd like to bring that up.
Here's the thing. The Wolves will not sweep the Suns, but the
You don't know
Nuggets very likely will sweep. I say there's a better chance the Lakers get swept than the Suns.
Well, it's like I told you last week, right? I mean, you watch that game, and what do you see? You see a bad matchup. It's just a bad matchup for the Lakers. It just is. No matter what they do, like even when they're up by 15,
Well, not
whatever,
for LeBron and Anthony Davis. It
It's
seems
just-
like a pretty good matchup.
and overall, it's a bad. I just don't like that matchup ever.
It's a bad matchup for the team. Like,
Yes.
obviously, LeBron and AD can get theirs. In fact, that wasn't even the issue last year.
Well, what it is a bad matchup for a good team and a bad team.
No, I don't think so.
Nuggets are a good team. The Lakers are a bad team. No, it's never a good
I disagree.
matchup.
The Nuggets have their hands full with the Lakers.
I don't agree with that either. It's just that ultimately
Shut your face.
the Lakers have too many guys that they rely on that aren't very good at defense. That's
I mean,
just my thoughts on
if
it.
you want to talk a bad team, I mean, Minnesota dominated the Suns that whole game. I mean, it wasn't even a game. I think.
Well,
they
not the
thought they were
first,
playing.
not the first quarter. The first
Oh,
quarter was
okay.
not domination, but
not
after
the
that,
first 3 quarters. It was like a 4-point game.
well, it was a 10-point game for most of the game,
Most of
and
the
then
game.
they started to pull away in the third and fourth quarter. So.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
It was
if
a
you're
joke.
within 4 in the third, that's not domination.
Has Donnie texted in yet today?
Oh, of course.
Way to go, Donnie. I'm with you, buddy. I am
Oh,
with you.
stop.
He's Master Chief.
Let's
I mean,
go.
troll. You know, of
All
course
for the
he's texting him.
Timberwolves.
Well, if the Lakers or the Timberwolves were even going to have a chance to move forward in the playoffs, you guys would not be friends.
If they both lose the next game, that's it.
What do you
My
mean? That's
opinion.
it.
That's it. They're done.
If the Lakers lose the next game, it's
The Lakers and the Suns both lose the next game.
It's over.
Both
Both
series
teams.
are both over, in my opinion.
I don't know about that.
No, I agree.
I don't care what Keon says. I'm bringing reality to the conversation.
No, you're. I'm going to say you're right.
It's obviously a tall order. You don't go down 2-0 in the first round in the playoffs and win very many of those series. So, like, I understand how that goes. The Suns are streaky, and honestly, so are the Timberwolves at times. So I just don't think that's necessarily over.
They needed that win. That was big for them. I
Yeah,
said it Friday. I said if they can come out and do that, they're going to blow through the Suns.
Well, I wasn't here Friday, so it's irrelevant. What you
Anthony
said.
Anthony Edwards said that they wanted to show in game 1 that they were the more desperate team, and it looked like it.
They did.
Well, right now, here's what I said in the first hour, which I wish I hadn't have said out loud, because you know how those things go. I said the Suns aren't going to get swept by the Wolves. Lakers, very sweepable by the Nuggets.
I don't think they'll get swept. I'm curious to see how they come out in game 2. They came out really well in game 1. They just, man, when the Nuggets get going and that idiot starts making shots that he doesn't even look like he should even be close to making, you know you're in trouble.
That idiot.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's-
that guy just, it's ridiculous. The shots
He has to practice those because there's no other way you make that consistently.
no human should make those shots. I mean, he just throws it up.
He does it effortlessly. Maybe that's it. He's not so in his own head. Maybe that's it.
Maybe.
Guys, because in his mind he's thinking about the horses.
Well, so one of the other comments I made about Timberwolves Suns is this next game is when you find out if you have a coach, because there's going to need to be some serious adjustments, and there's going to need to be some coaching. And I know you're not very high on Vogel. You used to have Vogel as a coach.
Don't like him at all.
So I'm not.
I don't think he's good
confident.
at that. I think that's the one thing he's really bad at. I don't think he's an adjustment coach.
Really?
And I think I think that's my opinion, right? I don't think he does a good job of that. I saw that with the Lakers. We'll see what he does in this next game, but if he comes out and it's the same stuff, then you have to tell me I'm right.
Well, I don't have to
Yeah,
tell
if-
you anything because I said it too.
No, I'm talking to Keon.
Oh yeah, he has to tell us
if,
we're both
if it's
right.
the same, but if it's different and they still lose, then I'm not going to tell you you're right. You just made an
Right.
adjustment,
But
and
it's
it
going to
didn't
be the
take.
same. It's going
But
to be the
it's
same.
I don't
Bad
think it's gonna be
adjustments
the
just as
same.
bad.
Because Indiana Frank Vogel, that dude was making adjustments between every single game. That was one of the things I always liked about him. I do think that I asked some Laker fans a while back like what they didn't like about Frank Vogel, and what a lot of people told me was the leadership is what they didn't like about him,
I
not
agree with that.
necessarily the adjustments, and also some of his rotations are just very bad.
Very bad.
But when it comes to making adjustments, I actually think that's one of his strengths. That's why you moved on from Monty, is to have a guy who can make adjustments. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
The biggest reason I want the Lakers to be swept, other than I just like to see the look on your face, is on my Twitter on the first page. I've pinned that thing where somebody superimposed a broom over the top of a towel that somebody was handing LeBron.
I remember that.
I've had that up since May 25th of last year, and I don't want to have to take it down.
I've been playing to Twitter about it.
If they get swept,
you file a report.
I did file a report against you.
Obviously, Twitter was on my side.
No, they just don't listen to me.
They're your people, they are your people.
They're not my people because I tried and they wouldn't do it. I asked. I even used the station as a, and they wouldn't do it. They said no. I'm like,
nice
the guy's horrible. He's a racist. He's this. He's that. You should take it down. And they wouldn't do it.
Well, that's obviously
truth or not. It doesn't matter. I mean, I was just trying anything I could.
I appreciate that. Actually, I'm not even mad, but I don't want to have to take that down. So I really, really want the Lakers to get swept here. I don't know if it'll happen.
I saw
or
one
not.
for the Suns. I'm getting ready to put that up, so we'll see.
You saw one for the Suns?
Yeah, someone had made a meme for the Suns getting swept, so I've got that in my back pocket.
All I keep seeing all over the place is like crybaby Booker. Like when he's making his face, everybody's calling him crybaby Booker.
Crybaby. He's always been a crybaby.
He was pretty quiet on Saturday, though.
Yeah, when you're losing by 25, that tends to happen.
I mean, they were
not with him. Devin Booker has had some games where it doesn't matter if they're up 20 or down 20. The refs need to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that wasn't a ref issue. They got blown out.
No, you know what? I didn't even go look. I didn't even go look at if there's any disparity between certain stats that would have something to do with the referees. It just the Suns got their asses kicked. That's all there is to it.
When you watch the game, it didn't feel like the refs were really involved in that one. Got to make your shots.
Minnesota looked good. I mean, they played their game.
Well, the thing that gives me hope, at least they won't get swept. Maybe even would have a chance to win the series, but I'm not saying I think that's going to happen, but is the fact that they beat them 3 times in the regular season. And I know playoffs are different, but that does count for something. So the Suns, if everything is firing on every single cylinder, they can do it. But we haven't seen them be consistent. They were just accidentally consistent every time they played the Timberwolves.
I think that way of thinking is true, but I think that's why I was saying, I think that first game was so big for Minnesota. If they could come out and dominate and win that game, I think you throw away the season because now they're looking at them going, we've got these guys. Let's go after them. Just work harder than them. We're going to beat them every time.
Sure.
That was a huge loss for the Suns. If they go in and win that first game, I think Minnesota's in trouble. But I think they're in trouble now.
I don't think the Suns are like in trouble. That's not
yet.
That's not where I'm going to go. But yeah, I do hate that they left the door open for the Timberwolves there, because there was a chance to just psychologically win this, where you just basically, you're the team that has the deeper talent. Most people are picking them, and you can just show up and absolutely put the fear of God onto the Timberwolves if you just go out there and just dominate. And they didn't. Now the Timberwolves are looking at the Suns like, hey, we could beat these guys.
And they didn't leave a door open. The Timberwolves kicked the damn thing in.
Yeah, but like I'm talking about over a course of a 7-game series. Like you win by 25, and it sucks if you're on the losing end of that, but it's still one game.
I mean, I remember the Lakers getting blown out in Boston in game 1 and then winning the series. I mean, so you're right.
It happens so often that the game 1, I hate it when people overreact to game 1s in series. Sometimes you come out flat. You shouldn't. You absolutely don't try to repeat that. And as a fan, like, it's just frustrating. You want to rip your hair out.
Yeah.
But that's not the sign that the team that lost game 1 is in trouble and the series is swinging away from them, especially when you're the road team.
I normally wouldn't even care about that either. Game 1, all right, that's fine. Ralph and I both were on the same page. Game 2, you lose that, then you're pretty much done. But the thing is, I would be less worried about losing game 1 if the Suns had been playing more consistently, doing what they're supposed to do, not having to worry about injury, this or this guy's hot, that guy's not, that guy's hot, that guy's not. All the different things that I've been skeptical and critical about the Suns the entire season is like just completely came true on Saturday. And so I hope you're right, Keon. I keep saying that too. I really hope you're right.
But if the Suns win tomorrow, then you know what everyone's going to say. All they had to do was steal one. They stole it.
Well, I'm not going to say all they had to do was steal one, but that's the more important thing, is that you're the road team. You take one from them at home, and then defend your court. Where I think you could get into a lot of trouble is if the series goes back to Phoenix and you're losing games in Phoenix. That's a problem. Like, you just can't afford to do that as this particular unit of guys.
That said, I hope the Lakers get swept because they're going to lose that fourth game in LA.
Again, I mean,
it's such a bad matchup.
It's just a bad, that's why I can't even defend it. It's such a bad matchup for them that it won't surprise me. It's just a team that I didn't want to see. If they were playing OKC, I think they blow through OKC, probably in 5. But they're not going to win this. This is a tough series.
Just 23 and a half seconds of perfect defense, and then Jokic puts the ball behind his head and flings it at the basket. And it's 3 points in the shot.
It's their kryptonite.
The possession is over.
No doubt. It's the Lakers' kryptonite. I'm pulling. You know what? I still think a team from LA is going to win the championship.
Well, there's so many of them. Wow, that's a way to call your shot, Ralph. And there's so many.
Good the other night. I mean,
sure, but they have their consistency issues.
I think the Clippers are a team that can win it. So we'll see.
Hefty Lefty says, overreacting after one game? Are we talking about NFL already? No, we should be because the draft is on Thursday. 602 Pats fan says, really, another 25-point loss for the Suns. Just getting another reference on the resume for blowout losses in the playoffs, I guess.
I think didn't the Celtics have like 3 25-point losses in the semifinals and final Eastern Conference finals last year? Like, it happens in a league where you shoot threes this much, and the Suns rely on a lot of 3-point shooting. So when they're shooting badly, they're going to get blown out. Like, there's no middle for the Suns. They either win or they lose by a lot because they just don't play the kind of game that lends itself to kind of hanging around the whole time. It's all or nothing.
So let's go ahead and now talk about the NBA awards. The finalists have been listed. And is there anybody that was left out? Do you agree? And who do you think is going to win, sort of thing? So let's start with the most valuable player. Here are the 3 names that are the finalists for most valuable player. 1, Nikola Jokic, the guy who is beating the hell out of the Lakers right now. And then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for the OKC Thunder. And then Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks. So, okay, before you tell me who you think should win, is there somebody missing? Who should be in there that's not? And then who should not be in there? I feel like they all 3 have a good case.
Yeah, they all have a good case. I can't think of anybody else that's really missing that should be in there. Those are pretty much the guys I think that separated themselves over the course of the season.
You got any runners up?
Why isn't LeBron in that conversation? He just based on his overall, his age, his performance.
He's on the seniors tour.
But that's the point. He's on the seniors tour.
Yeah, you don't get extra points for being old and being really great. You should. Those guys played better than everybody else in the league, including LeBron. LeBron's been really damn good, but like MVP caliber LeBron was like 10 years ago. We have
LeBron,
is a guy
I can't come to the phone right now. I'm getting swept by the Nuggets. I'll call you when this is over.
He's still playing at an insanely high level, but it's not MVP level when you look at what Jokic is doing. And boy, Doncic had stretches this season, like months, where he was not guardable. There's like 50-point games. He had that run of 45 and 50-point games where you're just like, what does anybody do with this guy? I don't know. And Gilgeous-Alexander, I think, he's just a walking bucket. I just think that those guys separated themselves in a way that nobody else quite did. But yeah, if you had to throw somebody in there, it would have to be LeBron. But I just, if you only have 3 finalists and they do, then
who wins? Who in your book?
It's Jokic, man. Again,
so?
Joker.
Yeah, it's a combination of watching him with my own 2 eyes, and then you look at some of the numbers he's putting up. It's insane. And then he manipulates a game. I don't know that anybody has control over a basketball game right now quite like he does.
Yeah, if I were to watch Jokic through Ralph's eyes, it'd be all bleary from the tears because he's currently in the midst of sweeping his Lakers right now. But go ahead, Ralph. Who do you like in this?
I think he's probably going to win, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Alexander maybe steal it.
If they do, it's only because they're tired of voting for Jokic. And Alexander was great.
And I feel like I feel like that's maybe a reality.
Yeah, voter fatigue is real.
Yeah, I think it's a reality here.
We'll
And
see
I
if
think that's why you might see Alexander Fresh new had a great season. That whole team had a great season. No one expected it. I can see him winning that award because of that.
I got a quick question because I haven't really seen any Dallas Mavericks games this year. Is this chubby Luka or is this fit Luka this year?
I mean, he played himself in shape.
Well, he started chubby.
Yeah, we
now
started,
he's in shape.
Yeah, you know, by the time we got to March, I was watching Luka get around and through people, and they would throw double teams at him, and it wouldn't make a bit of difference. The guy's not guardable when he's going. He just isn't.
He's about as fit as I am. He's close.
Wish I still had that ability to play myself in shape. Right now I am a shape, but I'm not in shape.
Round is a shape, you know.
So I guess it's unanimous then. We all think it's going to be Jokic.
Yeah, probably.
I think it's going to be Jokic. I mean, there's
I hate that guy. Man. It's so annoying to watch him play.
We hate Doncic. You know,
it's just annoying to watch him play.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's you do that as a Laker fan.
There's no way he can make a shot. You've got to play perfect defense, and that jagoff throws up some shot where he's not even looking. He's looking in the stands at a hot dog. He throws it up and it swishes. And like, what the heck?
He's got this almost emo level sort of just I don't care. He's arrogant. And but then you also have to respect him because he just doesn't give a crap. And there's so much about him that you're like you both like and hate at all the same time, especially if you're on the receiving end of it. That's when it's the worst. Right. It's the worst when you're on the receiving end of Joker. I'll tell you what, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, we'll hit the rest of the awards: Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, Most Improved Player, Coach of the Year, and even Clutch Player of the Year. You know, Ralph, if you need to go get a drink or something, there's 0 Lakers on this list.
Wow.
Oh, crap. There's no Suns either.
I was going to say, how many Suns are on there? Maybe the mascot? I mean, there's nothing.
We'll just let Keon run this. Yeah. That just got really sad for both. Oh, there's no. Well, nobody thought there'd be any Washington.
Yeah, why would you even bring that up? I was not under any illusion. There was.
I felt like that just should have gone without saying.
Oh yeah, award finalists. The Wizards don't have any. What
Wizards is this thing you call award?
Yeah, playoffs, play-in, awards. We don't participate in those things. It's draft season.
This just got really depressing for all of us, but we'll talk about it when we come back because we love the game. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling. Just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Lowe's knows pros need the right tools for every job. That's why we sell the largest in-store selection of Klein tools anywhere. Find new items launching exclusively at Lowe's, like the self-leveling laser level for just $159.98. Plus, shop the Connect socket set for just $49.98. Get Klein tools in-store and online today, because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Ken Barkley here, reminding you to check out You Better You Bet. Why, you ask? Well, because we bring the fun, the insight, and all the wagertainment you need. Plus, hopefully, we win a couple bets along the way. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come with them, obviously. Plus, betting analysis from some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. Join myself and Nick Costos and tune into You Better You Bet. Weekdays from noon to 3 on Arizona's sports betting station 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Steve Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. Boom shakalaka says, if your Suns or Lakers don't make it, who would you all most want to see take it the distance? I think the Washington Wizards. No, I'm just being mean. Sorry.
One day again, sometime in the next 30, 35 years. We'll see it.
Did the Wizards ever win a championship?
They did, yeah. I wasn't alive.
Son of a bitch.
As the Bullets, yeah.
Yeah, 79.
Wow.
Beat the Trailblazers, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, now I'm really depressed. The Wizards have won a championship before the Phoenix Suns.
What does that tell you? I'd like to see the Clippers win if it wasn't the Lakers.
You don't even like the Clippers.
They're an LA team.
Just they all count.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Laker fan first, but hey, they're an LA team. I like to see them win.
Well,
I like the guys that got there. So
I don't have any preference to the West or the East. So I don't know. I'm a Suns fan, so it's kind of hard for me to say, oh yeah. At that point, then you're looking at who is the best team in basketball. Where does this end up being the most interesting? And most of the time, the Western Conference Finals ends up being the best of the best. That ends up being your true championship game. Very rarely does the East win. I mean, I could be wrong about that. It just kind of feels like that's the truth. So I don't know. I mean, I guess the Nuggets,
I mean, Boston would have something to say about that, but.
Well, he's talking about. I thought he was talking about just Western Conference, to get there. So if you just say the Western,
okay.
What?
I thought he just meant overall. I didn't. But either way, I think I don't know. I'd like to see the Thunder do it. I mean, I like it when teams because I like it when teams build, through the draft and do their homework and get young players.
Let's go Pelicans.
Pelicans just as good as anybody, I guess. But I genuinely have enjoyed watching the Thunder this year. I just think they're a fun team, and it'd be nice to see those guys get put on the map.
Who's the no chance in hell team right now? The Magic?
No, the Magic aren't the no chance in hell.
Well,
team.
Who is the no chance in hell? The Lakers.
I mean,
sure.
Miami's not going anywhere. Just their matchup with Boston is already bad with Jimmy Butler on the floor. It's worse without him.
Right. So it's a toss up between the Heat and the Lakers.
I was going to say, the Suns aren't exactly looking great right now. So you're talking a lot of smack for a guy just lost by 25 points.
Listen, the Suns. Let's say both the Suns and the Lakers lose their matchups. I still say the Suns will have performed better than the Lakers by the time it's over. And I don't know what kind of bet you want to make on this. To say
I'm not betting anything with the matchup we have. There's no way.
Points scored, points.
If it was
whatever.
Any other team, I would say absolutely. But this matchup sucks.
A lot of the Western Conference feels this way, by the way. Like this Mavs team would be scary in any other context.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine a bigger nightmare for this Mavs squad than the Clippers, because Luke and Kyrie went bananas, and it meant nothing.
Nope.
And it will continue to mean nothing.
Yeah, Clippers go right through them.
So in the East, the only team that you really need to worry about is probably Celtics, right?
Probably the Celtics, but
maybe
Dame Lillard's going to keep doing that whatever he did with the Bucks this weekend.
But I don't think that's enough against a Western team.
Maybe not, but you got to keep in mind that Giannis isn't even on the floor right now. Yeah. They hang around long enough for Giannis to come back.
What's the deal with it? Yeah, when's he coming back?
Let's see. I can pull it up here. I don't know off the top of my head, but
I thought they said by game 5.
Yeah, he's probably gonna, if they are able to get past the Pacers and get to the next series, Giannis should be back for second series.
So not game 5. What is this? It goes 7.
I mean, it could be 5. If it goes 7, then he should be back by then. But
well, the Bucks already took 1, so that helps buy him some more time right there.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking. I hate it too. I do, Ralph. Listen, the enemy of my enemy is just another enemy. Screw you. But
at least, and I would say this, at least if the Lakers do get swept, hopefully I still have the Kings because the Kings are in Edmonton playing the playoffs. At least I can watch that.
Oh, what's this thing you're talking about? Kings of what?
Well, it used to be this thing called hockey in Phoenix.
No idea.
Anymore. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
The only hockey I care
forgotten.
about is New York City's police department versus fire department. That's an amazing thing every time. We'll talk about that later in the show. But yeah, I guess Boom Shakalaka, most want to see. So that's not even most think, but most want to see. Don't care. Just don't. This is where one of you guys say something now.
I don't know.
No, I thought you had something else to say. Like you gave back at it.
No, that was pretty much it. Don't care. I say I think it'll be the Nuggets, but as far as I don't like any of these other teams enough to go kind of hope for this guy to get it. I don't.
There's going to be a point where some of these young players are going to have to jump onto the scene, and I'd love to see the Magic figure some things out because I thought. For them having a first time playoff run with this group of guys, Paolo Banchero played really well in that first game. It's just Donovan Mitchell was on the other side, and that guy's got way more experience than this Magic squad. But I like the teams that draft and build that way and have a young group of guys and the stars of the future that we'll be watching. They're starting to make their appearance right here.
Used to be, I'd be like, all right, well then I'll be hoping for the Warriors, because I always appreciated them. And I would say Giannis Antetokounmpo and his Bucks, except for what happened a couple of years ago against Phoenix. So screw thee. That's what I have to say in fancy language. So I don't have anybody here I care about. Ralph, is there anybody here that you're like, hey, I hope you said the Clippers, I guess.
I really think because like I said,
they won't.
You keep saying Denver, and I don't think Denver is the same Denver from last year, except when they play the Lakers. You take the Lakers out of the scenario. I don't think Denver beats the Clippers. I don't think Denver beats OKC. I don't think they go through this year. I just my opinion. I just don't think. I don't think so.
Clippers will play him tough, but I don't think the same thing about OKC.
Well, OKC has beaten them this year, haven't they?
Yeah, well, we beat the Timberwolves 3 times. So what does that matter? You just told me that yourself.
OKC is this team they're so young. And they're winning games, and they don't even realize what's going on.
That is the best kind of team, too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, right? It's one of those teams where they don't realize they probably shouldn't be where they're at, but, keep doing what you're doing because it works. But there's something about the Clippers this year. They've been this same team all year. If they can be healthy enough in this playoff run, I think they're going to be a real tough out. I can see them making that run.
T. Leisure says, they always say the series doesn't start till a road team wins. So hopefully the Suns wake up tomorrow. Happy Monday, mofos. Happy Monday, delicious. Moist One says, another Canadian MVP?
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's Canadian.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I can't get past that ridiculous name of his.
Well, Shai Gilgeous is very common in Canada.
Oh, is that French? Oh, that makes sense.
I don't think he's French, no.
Let's see.
Pierre's half brother, right?
Must be.
Pierre Gilgeous-Alexander.
602 Pats fan says, yay, go Suns. Big George says, Jeffrey, see above. Oh, God. Now I got to read this giant text from him again. He says, like Teddy Roosevelt said, speak softly and carry a big stick. Hey, listen, I got a Civil War cannon strapped to my thigh. So is that what you're talking about? Or do you mean something else?
Wow.
I'm not sure how to respond to that.
No, that's a tough one.
I know I shouldn't have said anything about the Lakers getting swept. I should have never said the Suns won't get swept. I shouldn't have said these things, but it's too late. They've been said out loud.
And also, the players actually determine who wins the game. We don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they actually have to go out there and play. It doesn't matter what we say.
Why are we even here?
to talk about why.
Now you've made me rethink things.
Rethink career choices now.
Yeah, Keon, get on Indeed because I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh boy,
it's a nice run.
We were talking about the finalists for the awards of the NBA. Let's talk about Rookie of the Year, Victor Wembanyama. Moving on. Defense.
Well,
nobody's going to stop me.
Well, I was going to say, well, hold on, because Chet was kind of ridiculous the whole season too.
Can't vote for a man named Chet.
I think Chet's going to win, though.
Why not? I don't. I think Victor's going to win, but Chet's right. No, not just because of popularity.
That dude's amazing. Broke records, Ralph.
Nobody has had.
He's 8 feet.
More blocks and steals.
Well, because he just stands there. He's taller than the building.
But that's the thing is he doesn't just stand there. That's
if that slender man running up and down the court, scaring kids and scoring points.
If that's all he did, I'd understand it. But no, the guy moves around. They switch him and they think they have an advantage because it's a guard on a big. And in real life, 99% of the time, that is an advantage. But Victor doesn't move like a center. He moves like a guard. So you're not getting around him. Then on the offensive end, he's got handles. He's 7'4". He gets to the basket, can finish.
Yeah, that's easy.
I don't know. Either hand, he had a layup that he turned into a dunk for no reason because he can. Look, man, he's just ridiculous. The game is broken around him. How is he not rookie of the year?
Would they win 13 games?
Okay,
they
one
won 17
great
games.
Player amongst a bunch of nobodies.
And so, like, that's what you can't compare him to Chet. Chet's got an MVP candidate on his team.
Go ahead, Ralph. Compare him to Chet. Tell me why Chet Holmgren should be rookie of the year over Victor Wembanyama.
Well, I just think a couple of things. Number one, I do think the way your team plays is part of it. That's just me. I've always looked at that.
Rookie of the year, not
still
veteran.
MVP, rookie of the year, doesn't matter. I feel like it's how did you help your team? And I guess you can say, well, Victor Wembanyama helped his team.
I got to stop. No, stop. It's not about how the player helps his team. It's about how he plays as a brand new player in the NBA. So whether your team wins or loses doesn't matter. It's how you handle yourself. How are you shooting? How are you handling? How are you getting stuff done? Even your stats don't have to be the deciding thing. It's how do you play as a rookie? And he's gone bonkers, Ralph.
I mean, Chet Holmgren's gone bonkers. Guys average 30 points a game just about.
Chet
average. I'm sorry. Not 30 points a game. It's like 17 points.
Nice try. You thought Keon wouldn't know, huh?
Yeah, 17 points a game. You know how many Victor averaged
as a rookie in that lineup? That matters, right? They weren't relying on him, where San Antonio was relying on Wembanyama.
So you are making the case for Victor Wembanyama as rookie of the year.
I just went reverse.
Yeah, like he was on a team with worse players.
But he was forced to have to be a guy to put up 25, 30 points.
How is that his fault?
Well, no.
And he did it efficiently, by the way. It wasn't just chucking up shots.
The point I'm making is you can't poo-poo. I had to say that. Chet's 17 points a game.
You have like a list of words you need to say, or like a bet with your wife?
Well, you can't look at him and go, he only had 17 points a game. Well, that's all he needed to do.
Okay.
Versus Wembanyama had to put up 25, 30.
So, but Chet Holmgren is still 7 feet tall. He got out-rebounded by Victor. Got out-assisted by Victor.
Again, the guy lifts his arm and he's hitting the scoreboard.
More blocks.
Same thing with Chet.
What difference does it make the reason why he's a better player? He's a better player. The fact that he's a bigger player makes him a better player.
Niner 1680 says Chet isn't a rookie.
Chet's a rookie. He did not play that rookie season. In the NBA rules, if you don't play, you're a rookie when you actually play. I forget what the minimum amount of games is in the season, like 15, 20 or something like that. Once you play that amount, then you're officially a rookie. Had he played games his official draft year, then he would have been considered a rookie, but he was injured the entire time in rehab.
So what if he doesn't play for like 3 years? Can he still be a rookie?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's very strange, but yeah.
I mean, it's
like a red shirt.
when you actually debut in the league is when you're a rookie.
I mean, Chet had a higher field goal percentage.
Okay.
Hey, look at Ralph. He used Google.
And this is the issue that you have because you said on that team,
he's a field goal rookie of the year.
He doesn't need to score more. But on that team, if you're not seeing double teams, if teams aren't planning around defending you ought to shoot a higher field goal percentage.
I mean,
poor Brandon Miller doesn't even exist, does
he? He played really well, but he might as well not.
He's on the Hornets. Nobody knows him.
With these two kaiju out on the floor, he might as well not exist.
Yeah. All right, defensive player of the year. We're dealing with one, Rudy Gobert from the Minnesota Timberwolves, and Victor Wembanyama up for defensive player of the year. Ralph's going to argue with that, I guess. And then Bam Yabba from the Miami Heat. So, all right, I'll let you start, Ralph.
No, I don't want to start.
Because you're going to have to say it's Victor Wembanyama?
I don't think it is.
All right, so Keon, who do you think? Right now, we're feeling the effects of Rudy Gobert, but I mean, that whole Minnesota Timberwolves team is just defensively just hard to deal with. But we're talking about individuals. Who is the best one of those three to you, Keon?
Of the three, I mean, for defensive player of the year, I think Wemby is the best of those three guys. But it's very strange to me that Anthony Davis isn't on this list.
Exactly.
Anthony Davis has been a nightmare defensively.
Who do you replace?
And he's been healthy.
Who do you replace on the list if you're upset that Anthony Davis isn't on it?
Gobert, Wemby. What was the other?
Yabba Dabba Doo.
Boy, I'd kick him off the list.
So Bam Yabba Dabba Doo from the Miami Heat off the list, and Anthony Davis on.
He played great, but Anthony Davis changed games defensively. And when you put him up against Rudy Gobert, the fact that he has more steals and blocks per game ought to mean something. When they both played, their full schedule, actually both played 76 games this year. Anthony Davis was just better. Like he just was. And he had to carry a bigger offensive load than Rudy Gobert did.
I think Victor Wembanyama, I mean, you got to look at a guy. This is a guy who can protect the paint from the 3-point line. His arms are so damn long. I mean,
But it's not just how big he is, because there have been guys Victor's size in the league. It's also how well he moves. Like you see a lot of big guys that are there. It's kind of labored how they get around. He's bouncing all over the place. He jumps into passing lanes.
But Anthony Davis out-rebounded him, out-blocked him, outplayed him.
That's what I'm saying.
When are you thinking that Anthony Davis should win?
Anthony Davis should win. Absolutely. It's not even close between him and Victor Wembanyama. It's not even close.
That's why I was
Why
saying,
isn't he on this list?
Because people hate the Lakers.
I don't think it's that people hate the Lakers. I think Anthony Davis just has a reputation of being a guy
that's
not out there and all of that. Yeah, I just don't know that it's that, because I don't think that the media hates the Lakers. Like, that's insane.
Well, Jeffrey's media, he hates the Lakers.
I am not media.
You are media to me. To me, you are media.
Okay.
To you.
Well, to everyone but Ralph. No, I don't think the media hates the Lakers, and Jeffrey doesn't have a vote, so this is an irrelevant conversation anyway.
I should have a vote. How do I get a vote?
If you look at them side by side throughout this whole season, it's not close.
I'm agreeing with you, by the way.
Far their defensive player of the year.
I'm agreeing with you. It's just insane that he's not on the list. That's why I said Wembanyama, of the guys on the list, we just had to bring up Anthony Davis not being here is
ridiculous.
Kind of bonkers.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
888-368-1580. Donnie says, you guys are high. I know it seems that way, but we're high on life, Donnie. Bat Flipper says, Victor is a bigger and better Kevin Garnett. That's interesting, but I don't think Kevin Garnett was ever that skinny. Was he? He was always
skinny. He was skinny his first year.
Yeah, early Kevin Garnett, because he was 18 when he came in the league. He was a twig.
He had some muscle on him. More. Okay, would you say at least more than Wembanyama? He had more tone than Wembanyama.
It was close.
It was close.
All right.
18-year-old Kevin Garnett was a stick.
Wilbur says, I once told Beyonce, oh Jesus,
it's not going to end well,
that she had a nice body, and when she held it against me, I mean, really hold it against me. What the hell is wrong with you, Wilbur? It has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now.
Never saw that coming.
Read the room.
Penalty box, Wilbur.
Sorry. For him to read the room, he'd have to touch everybody. Never mind, Wilbur. Never mind.
Wow.
We're all getting hit by his red and white stick. Like, what? I'm trying to read the room. Berg says, wow, Donnie, not negative. Yeah. I mean, that, as far as the stuff that Donnie says, that him saying we're all high is
mild by comparison. Yeah.
Kyle G says, Ralph showing the Laker brain rot. Anything to downplay the Spurs building a better franchise yet again.
Oh, yeah, yet again. Give me a break. How many championships do you have compared to the Lakers? Next question. You're not even in the same field. So go away.
Hamilton Porter's just kind of
Hamilton Porter's high.
No, it wasn't him that said it. Was Kyle G that said that.
Kyle G, you're high.
Hamilton Porter's high too, though. He says, happy retirement, Matt Ryan. Colts killed him so bad it knocked him into retirement. No, it's called the calendar, Hamilton Porter. Matt Ryan was already elderly when he was hanging out with the Colts. He never got hurt playing for the Colts. He, just was at the end of his career, and he enjoyed another $12 million from the Colts was when he pretended to not be retired.
Matt Ryan, go back and watch that last season in Atlanta of Matt Ryan and tell me that is somehow the Colts' fault.
The Patriots broke Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I don't know what that has to do with the Colts. That last season of Matt Ryan in Atlanta, and I have a lot of friends in Atlanta, it was sad. It was hard for them to watch. Sad. The guy was just past his prime.
Navy Brad, you should get Matt Ryan the number for a service dog because that guy's got some PTSD. He needs him a German Shepherd too. Happy Lefty says, I'd say Wemby is more Durant than Kevin Garnett. Similar skill set to him.
I think that makes more sense because he can shoot and he can handle. Garnett developed that. I don't know that he came into the league with that at the same level.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll finish the awards list when we come back for the NBA. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
So what did the doctor say?
He said I might need surgery.
Wow, it's that serious.
Well, we won't know for sure until I talk with a surgeon, but I'm lost. This is all new to me.
The decision to have surgery isn't easy, but neither is living with pain.
There is an alternative to surgery. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach and can restore pain-free joint function so you can avoid surgery. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. We also help restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves both immediate physical symptoms and also improves cognition and emotional stability. So when traditional medicine suggests you need surgery, how about taking another approach? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
Our Chandler Police benefit from serving a supportive community. That strong partnership equips our police with the support, training, and technology needed to keep our city and employees safe. Our sunny skies and active lifestyle offer personal and family time for the desired work-life balance. Find your fit with the Chandler Police Department. Learn more at jointeamchandler.com. This message is sponsored by the City of Chandler.
The most important event in sports could happen at any time.
Like right now.
Or right now.
Or even now.
Don't miss history. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or at 1580thefanatic.com.
Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. And about a half an hour ago, I saw that Charlotte Hornets, according to Shams Charania, interviewing JJ Redick for their head coaching job. You really kind of see him as head coaching material?
Well,
JJ Redick?
Yeah, I mean, he could be. First off, he's incredibly intelligent. The guy understands so much about the game. So from just an X's and O's perspective, yeah, I can see it. And then as far as the respect factor, he's respected in the league. I think like a lot of guys saw how he, first struggled when he got to the NBA and then developed as a player and got to the point where you had to worry about JJ Redick, and a lot of that he was doing mentally. The only issue that I am going to have is there are certain things that if you're not experienced as a coach, you're just going to have to figure out kind of on the fly. And how long does that take? And do you put enough of a staff around you to support you in terms of the things that are about being a head coach that you don't know, to help you be able to manage that and make that transition a little easier? But as far as just the basketball knowledge and IQ, I mean, the guy's got it.
Hefty Lefty says Wemby looks like if Kevin Durant got put on the rack, got his limbs stretched out even more, like Gonzo in the Muppet Treasure Island.
That's a really one.
That's not a bad. Yeah. That's not a bad comparison.
If you ever saw Wembanyama on a bicycle, all you think is Kermit the Frog. That's all you would think is from the very first Muppet movie. All right, so we were talking about all the awards the NBA is trying to give out. Sixth Man of the Year. Who gives a crap? Really,
it's important.
It matters. Yeah. If you don't have that guy that comes off the bench, it makes things easier for a lot of teams. It's an award that I think that a lot of people aspire to, because it means that you might not be the overwhelmingly talented guy to get out on the floor, but usually the guy who's the sixth man is the guy that works his ass off harder than anybody else. And I think that people like to respect that in the league and do.
Well, right now, Malik Monk is getting rest because the Sacramento Kings aren't in any kind of the playoffs. Naz Reid from the Timberwolves, Bobby Portis from the Bucks. Those are the three. So, Keon, which one is yours?
Boy, that's tough. I think I'm going to go Malik Monk. I think what he adds defensively is huge, and he's not just a guy that comes off the bench. Sometimes in key spots they'll start him because they know his defense is so good, and when it comes to going up against opposing guards, he makes things a nightmare for just about everybody. And then he's a knockdown shooter as well.
Ralph?
Yeah, I think it's really close. But I like Bobby Portis Jr. I mean, I've seen him actually play a lot this year on accident. I've seen a lot of Buck games, and he comes off the bench. He hits a lot of threes. He gets a lot of rebounds. I think he's a little spark plug in that lineup. I like him a lot. I think it's really, really, I was looking at the stats of all three guys. That's really, really close when you just look at stats, but I would lean Bobby Portis Jr.
Well, I'm saying Naz Reid because I feel bad for him because nobody said him.
Yeah, well, you got, unfortunately,
he's right there,
can only choose one, but yeah, Naz Reid he has a legitimate case too, especially being a guy that will play sometimes other centers and other forwards. To have a bench guy that you can trust to do that and to pick up some of the defensive assignments, and he's another energy guy. I mean, I don't think he's quite Bobby Portis in terms of how much energy, but it's still a lot. He plays really well.
Pierre wanted us to know that Shai Gilligan-Alexander is Canadian. He is from Ontario. He's not French.
Okay.
But he says, spit on Shai Gilligan-Alexander because I'm voting for Victor Wembanyama for MVP because he's French.
But you're French Canadian, and that make more sense to just be.
I guess Pierre's more French than anything.
It's weird because he did say one time that we accused him of being French and we kind of made fun of him for it, and then he made a very large point of saying that he was not French. So,
but he is French. He speaks French.
He's Canadian.
French Canadian.
Yeah, there's like anybody in Canada that speaks English isn't English. They're Canadian. We're American. We speak English. We don't have tea and crumpets and whatever else
Canada,
they for yourself.
In Canada, they're very specific about stating Canadian and French Canadian.
Oh yeah, no.
Here, what the hell are you?
The French Canadians are
very specific.
Very specific. But to be clear, they are not French.
Pierre, are you French? Are you French Canadian? Are you Frenching a Canadian? Yeah, clear that up for us. All right.
I mean, technically, he could be all of the above, but you know.
True.
Who's the most improved player? Is it Tyrese Maxey from the 76ers, Alperen Sengun from the Rockets, or Kobe White from the Bulls? And how do you say that guy's name with all the weird? He's got weird stuff on top and bottom of his name. What's that weird thing under the S supposed to be? I thought it was a spot on my paper, but I think that's
I think it makes it like an SH kind of sound. It's
Shingun?
Alperen Sengun.
Shingun?
Yeah. Randy said he got a name like a Bond villain, which is
what the hell?
Hard to argue.
What nationality is Shingun?
He is Turkish.
Oh,
He looks Turkish. Yeah.
Wait, do they bomb people? I'll just keep my mouth shut now.
On the weekend.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of down to Kobe White and Sengun, and I'm leaning towards Sengun just because his point total jumped up 7 points from last year to this year.
That sounds like an improvement.
It's a massive improvement, and he did get hurt near the end of the season, unfortunately, but like the Rockets started figuring things out, and a lot of it was running the offense through him. He's a terrific passer of the basketball, but he's got a mid-range jumper that's crazy good. But it's close between him and Kobe White to me, because Kobe White also had some games where they didn't trust him last year, and they had the ball in his hands in big moments, and they won their first play-in game, couldn't win the second one, but that first play-in game, 45 points for Kobe White is the reason why they were able to stay alive.
It's tough to win those playing games.
Who's most improved for you, Ralph?
Kobe White.
You just look at his name's Kobe.
Oh yeah, that's part of it. And then he's improved like 10 points a game over last year. He's also gone up in minutes. I mean, a lot actually. His game is just way better this year versus last year. Not that it was horrible last year, but this year it's so much better. If you look purely stats.
All right, for Coach of the Year, you got Chris Finch, Frank Vogel, Darvin Ham. So who do you have?
What?
No, I know, I just made that up.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think either of those human beings are on the list, nor should they be.
All right. Well, I'll be honest. I don't know if I can
except for Chris Finch. Finch has obviously done a great job in Minnesota.
I think it's Jamal Mosley for Orlando Magic, but I'm not sure if I can pronounce the last name. Mark Daigneault of
I think
Oklahoma
it's
City.
Daigneault.
Mark Renault of the OKC Thunder, which, by the way, Renault was a horrible car from the 80s. Oh, my God.
I saw it on the Top Gear.
Just horrific.
That was a hilarious episode.
Oh, I didn't see that one. All I know is that a couple people had them and they never moved from their parking spots. That's all I know. All right. So which one of those coaches? I'm feeling like it's probably going to be Chris Finch from the Timberwolves.
I
Coach of the Year.
I like Mark Daigneault from Oklahoma City.
So I guess, Ralph, you get Jamal Mosley. You don't get to choose anyone else.
I think Oklahoma. I like him a lot.
I'm changing mine to the guy from OKC as well.
To get your team to have the number one seed with a team that young,
yeah,
that's a hell of a season.
And then the last award is Clutch Player of the Year, which I think is a weird one to put in there. I mean, isn't that the MVP anyway?
No, because being clutch is not about. I mean, you can average 4 points a game and be a clutch player if you get those 4 points in
at the end.
Yeah. So it's who. I forget exactly, because they have an actual clutch stat. And I think it's the last 2 minutes of the game. If the score is within, I want to say 3 points in either direction, then those shots are considered clutch shots, and the players who hit the most of those are the ones who get nominated for the award, which is no wonder Steph's on the list.
All of us who can drive with a clutch, we are superior to all of you who can't.
It's true.
Can you drive a stick, Keon?
It's been a very long time, and I drove it in a country where they drive on the other side of the road. So
wow.
I don't know if I could do it now. It's been about 12 years, but yeah, probably.
Not only can I drive a stick, I can drive a 3 on the tree.
Oh, I've done that too. I've done that too. Oh, have you ever done the push button?
Push button, a 64 yard dart. I had one of those too.
Can't even imagine how that would work.
Triple crown.
Pierre says, I'm French Canadian, but above all, Quebecus. Whatever.
Quebecois.
Whatever.
That means you're French.
Yeah.
I feel like you're just French.
Well, no, if you're Quebecois, that means you're from Quebec. That means you're Canadian. Just say
So,
you're Canadian.
If we insult France,
Is Quebec not
will you get
Canada?
upset?
Well, he's upset about what I said about Renault. He says, "Oh, do not denigrate the great name of Renault. It's a French car manufacturer."
Yeah, but you're not French. What do you care?
And it's a piece of crap car. You know it.
It's absolute crap.
Yeah, it's just there's just some weird things about you, Pierre. That's all.
So Steph Curry, DeMar Rosen, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Which one of those is your clutch player of the year?
That's a tough one.
Steph Curry.
I would say Steph, because Steph played in more games that mattered to the Warriors, and every single one of those clutch shots. I mean, you take Steph Curry off the team, though, they're not even close. Like that's just he can't make them win every game, but when they needed big shots and big moments, Steph was the guy that even got them close.
Ralph?
Kobe Bryant.
He's not on this list.
He still should be. Even if he's dead, he should be on this list.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
I'll take Steph, I guess. But yeah, it's obviously Steph. It's not even
if he was here, I'm sure he'd do like a helicopter dunk.
Wow.
Oh.
Too soon.
Never too soon. I just like seeing the look on Ralph's face. All right, guys, that's 2 hours down and 1 to go. We come back. Let's talk some baseball because I know Ralph loves it. And man, we got to start talking NFL. Draft is on Thursday. Daily Blender 1580, the Fanatic.
Lowe's knows pros need the right tools for every job. That's why we sell the largest in-store selection of Klein tools anywhere. Find new items launching exclusively at Lowe's, like the self-leveling laser level for just $159.98. Plus, shop the Connect socket set for just $49.98. Get Klein tools in-store and online today. Because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-694-1010. That's 1-800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-694-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Okay, guys, we got to put our trays up for takeoff.
Where's Dad?
Oh, he's in the back. We could only get 3 seats together.
Daddy has my pillow.
We'll get it later. Can you not put your feet up, please?
Why aren't we going?
We must be in line for takeoff.
Like security?
Well, that was a different line.
I have to go.
We just sat down.
But I have to go.
The seatbelt sign's on.
Why aren't we moving?
Hey, no kicking.
We're just 15th in line for takeoff.
Son of a...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my run in PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm personal price plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Do you know about 211 Arizona? It's a free service to connect you with resources anywhere in Arizona. Housing assistance and eviction prevention, transportation and ride services, healthcare benefits, food resources, and even utility bill support. Talk to a live operator in English or Spanish, 24 hours a day, every day of the year. Just dial 211 or visit 211arizona.org. Get connected, get answers, and get the help you need. This message is sponsored by 211 Arizona.
Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale.
This is KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240 U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what? Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2,
What? Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender, and your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White. He's busy working on his weather equipment, which has let him down, and he did not predict the first 100-degree day of the year. So Ralph from Harman Solar is joining us. Keon's here, though, like he always is, in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, broadcasting live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Pierre's mad because I didn't read all of his text. Pierre, sometimes I do that in the interest of time, so I wasn't able to read everything. So, but if it's important to you, I guess I'll read this for you. But I'm not going to do this every time. He says, "Oh, you have not read all my text. I am an independentist. Independent? You're an independent dentist? Independentist? I don't think that's the right word." He said, "We Quebecers do not identify ourselves as Canadians because we want our own country."
Pierre, what does it say on your passport? Like, I got friends from Texas. They want to be another country too, but last I checked, it says America on everything that they got. Does it say Canada on your passport, Pierre?
That makes me wonder. So now the parallel, Texas wanting to secede from the Union. Does that mean that Quebec is the dumb state of Canada?
Did you just call Texas dumb?
Yes, I did. Dumber dirt, and they're proud of it.
Their passports say
I would say Alabama
America
and,
with a U.
Well, yeah. And no A, just the MURICA.
America. Listen, we talked an awful lot of basketball. 2 hours. 2 hours of NBA. That was fun.
A lot.
Yeah, it is
now it's an hour of WNBA. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do this. It just hey, let me ask you about Michael Porter Jr. You sure he's not adopted?
Why do you ask that?
Well, his brother, the one that just got banned for
Jonte,
life,
yeah,
from the NBA, and then his other brother, Coban Porter, just got 6 years in prison for deadly DUI crash. So I'm just saying, Michael Porter, is he all right? Is he all right? Or is
he seems all right. I mean,
is he adopted? Maybe the mailman's kid. I don't know.
It's kind of falling in line.
Just saying, he seems like
he looks like the other two. So I'm fairly certain he's not adopted.
Yeah, okay. I've just just seems like kind of like Patrick Mahomes with his dad getting the DUI after DUI after DUI after DUI, and his brother trying to sexually assault some woman in a bar. Now that woman's lost her entire career in her bar and her professional life. I'm just saying, every now and then you get to be the not dark horse in the family. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Michael Porter Jr. okay? Is he okay?
He seems okay, though. I mean, he's feel bad for the guy because he's just going through it. His whole family is just being ridiculous around him, and he still cares about him. Like just because,
yeah, of course, yeah.
they've done dumb things, so it's just kind of I feel bad for him.
Yeah, I'm just curious. It just seems like a lot going on there. Does he have any other siblings we need to watch out for?
Not that I'm aware of, but to be fair, I didn't know who Jonte Porter was until the Jonte Porter decided he was going to place bets that nobody would place on Jonte Porter. That's how we got here.
Hey, now I know that Ralph is not enjoying the ass kicking that's coming to his Lakers by the Denver Nuggets.
What series have you been watching?
Yeah, and I know you don't like Nikola Jokic.
I don't. I wish he would go away.
Did you not like him before this?
I've always found him a bit odd, to be honest with you. I mean,
what's wrong with odd?
I feel like when you look at him, he just doesn't want to be there. Just like when they won last year and they were going to have a parade, he looked really disturbed that he had to stick around for a parade. He just doesn't seem like he's really wanting to be around.
Well, I think if you pay him, he's very much happy to be around. And I'll be honest with you, I saw him in the Despicable Me 4 promos. He did a good job. He did a good job. Because he's sitting there talking to a therapist and everything. Well, the other day he shows up to the game. Of course, he's getting paid to do this. He showed up after that promo dressed like Gru on purpose. That's not on accident. He's making money for this, and I think it's genius.
Well, yeah, he looks like him too. So
the thing with Jokic is I think he does want to be out there. Like I think with basketball, that's the thing that he enjoys. All the other stuff around basketball, the interviews, the parades, you got to talk to people and shake hands. I think he doesn't like any of that stuff.
He's a little Marshawn-esque when it comes to that stuff.
But
I want my camera focused.
To me, that's not a problem. Like,
because it's cheap.
What I want is for the guy to love basketball, and I don't think you can play like he plays and not like basketball.
I want the kind of cameras you have, Ralph, where it gives you clips where you can read the words. You know, I like your camera.
Oh well, yeah.
I mean, your lighting is horrible. I thought. Then it turns out it's just your face. But yes, mine doesn't want to focus. Your camera's focused well.
Mine focus great.
Yeah, I have to hold it back here.
$5 on Amazon though. So
well, this camera is like $100.
Yeah, get a real camera.
I want your cameras.
I could sell you one.
Well, you just invite me to your house and
no, because you'll steal it.
You're right. Pierre says, Jeffrey, I like you, so I'm going to ignore your nasty remark about how my home country, Quebec, is so stupid.
It's not a country.
I didn't say it was. I'm asking.
My home country.
It's not a country.
Province.
It's a province.
He
Texas
says,
is not a country. They're a state.
Many intelligent people in Quebec who have won the Nobel Peace Prize, plus William Shatner, also from here.
I wouldn't talk.
I've never heard Captain Kirk talk French.
Yeah, I didn't know he was from there. He used to live in the valley, so.
What?
Well, he lived down the street from me when he was.
William Shatner lived here?
He used to live in my valley, L.A.
Oh.
San Fernando Valley. He lived down the street from me when I was growing up.
Yeah, did you ever talk to him?
Once or twice. Yeah, he was a nice guy.
You ever egg his house?
No.
You go trick or treating there?
Yeah, I did. We liked him. He was nice.
What did he give out for Halloween?
He used to give out full bars.
See, that's awesome.
He was a class act.
There you go.
Well done, William Shatner. All right, so let's talk baseball. Diamondbacks, I don't know what to think about the Diamondbacks. In the last 10 games, they beat the Cardinals in a series. They lost the Cubs in a series, and they split a series with the Giants. And, now they're starting back up with the Cardinals again tonight. So I guess I shouldn't think anything about it. It's still, way too early to worry. I know there's Ralph's excuse for everything, a lot of injuries. So, how many times I've heard the first thing you say, well, there's all these injuries, Dodgers, all these injuries.
Well, I mean, I have a right to say that. We have 8 pitchers on the disabled list. I mean, that's a lot.
There are jokes there. I will pass.
I'm just saying 8 pitchers that are actually out right now because of injury. It's a big deal.
We have a variety of kinds of players who are being dinged up, banged up, or have been on the injured list and stuff.
It's too early.
So,
even Ray was saying the similar thing about the Diamondbacks. Like the Diamondbacks don't have their full pitching rotation, and it's causing them to do bullpen games, which is the last thing on earth anyone wants to hear is Torey Lovello and messing around with the bullpen like that. I don't know. He can never seem to do it correctly, but yeah, he's got to have all his guys back. They're a game below 500. You stay in the hunt and then you try to get healthy and boost from there.
Let me ask you guys now, Ralph, you're more into the baseball than me. Do you feel like things that happen, outside of the game will have an effect and impact on how an umpire calls the game itself? Do you think that stuff that happens, before the game can have an impact on how calls are going to go?
Do you mean like coaches trying to get in a umpire's ear before a game or getting in the press about umpiring before a game?
Well, I'm actually talking more about this because if I were an umpire, I probably would have had you see how I hate the Yankees. I absolutely despise the Yankees. Hate. If people say, "Oh, it's a strong word," it's the right word. I hate the Yankees.
Okay.
And now one of our favorite guys is just because he got hit in the head with a foul ball. Ow! 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 That was just one of my favorite things ever. John Sterling, he decided that he was like, you shouldn't even started this year. I'm just tired. I am really tired. Sure, you might want to come out and do another game? No, I'm so damn tired. Right. And he almost broke into the Madeline Kahn song from Blazing Saddles. I'm tired. Anyway, so they drag him out. And they're like, we're doing a little something for John Sterling on Saturday. Hey, John Sterling going to say a few nice words to the crowd. And you think, well, we'll give him a nice retirement gift. So he gets up there and he's like, ow, ow. He does this little speech. That's all I know him for, so I can't really do his voice.
I don't think he said ow, but okay.
Ow, ow. And he gets up there and he's just talking, I'm tired. And everybody's like, yay. So then they're like, hey, John, 85 years old, we have a little something for you. And then a couple of players come running out of the dugout with an 83-inch LG TV. And you can see him shaking his head like, he was trying to make it like, oh, you guys shouldn't have done that. And then he's like,
really, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, what the hell am I going to, where am I going to put this? Where am I going to, is this going in my car? How am I going to get this home for one thing? And what happened to the gold watch? Well, you guys can't, you're the richest damn team and you're giving me an 83 LG? What was Sony not on the, like, what is your budget? What is it? Come on. I've been doing this here for 40 years and you're going to give me a TV?
Somebody said on Twitter that it seems like the Yankees were just genuinely surprised he retired, had no answers, and then someone just rummaged around in the basement and found the TV and said, hey, let's just give John that. Like, it's big. It shows we care about him a lot. Our feelings are as big as this TV screen.
Just clicked on the first thing on their Amazon wish list. Boom, take that. That'll do. He'll love that.
Yeah. Is it 24-hour delivery? Good.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Horrible way to treat the guy. I mean, just give him a damn watch. I mean, you're like, oh, that's really nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's typical. What do you want for your retirement, right?
Look, easy. Gold watch with the Yankee logo in the middle. Simple. You're done. It's that.
Hold the logo.
Well, he's gonna appreciate it. It's not a present for you.
No, I know. I'm just.
He would appreciate that, and they could have done that.
Pawn that if you got a logo on it.
They're very rich. I don't think he's going to be in a position where he needs to pawn things. He's very rich.
Guarantee you that he's going to re-gift that TV,
as he should. What is he going to do with it? He could afford a better TV. He probably has a better TV or 3 at home.
There's another gift somewhere.
There has to be.
It made me wonder. It made me wonder if what happened later it had something to do with this. Because treating John Sterling that bad, anybody watching is like, you got to be effing kidding me with this stuff. So then now let's look at the game. So Aaron Boone got ejected 5 pitches into the game versus the Athletics. And it was absolutely... Well, I think it was appropriate because he's a Yankee. But if he wasn't a Yankee, I would have to scream that everything is going too far with the umpires. So he's out there and, there was a guy got hit by a pitch on an 0-2 count. I mean, they plunked him and, but the Yankees dugout was like, hey, he swung at that. That's and so he was yelling and Boone was like, hey, that's bullcrap. And then umpire Hunter Wendelstedt, he's like, you're not yelling at me, pal. He says, and he's like, tell you what, you say one more thing, I'm going to throw you out. You're gone. And Boone's just like, all right. And then a pitch later, somebody in the stands yelled something and he turned, Wendelstedt's like, I told you, you're gone. And he tossed him. And the camera from the broadcast was on him the whole time. Unless he's a ventriloquist, he clearly didn't say anything. It clearly was not even, it didn't sound like him. You hear him barking at him before, gets threatened. Next voice that comes out, an octave difference. Didn't even sound like Aaron Boone.
But even if it did sound like him, you have to be sure.
And he says, I didn't say that. He says, I don't care. You're gone. He's like, I don't care. He's like, what do you mean you don't care?
We're watching this year the implosion of Major League umpires.
It's worse than I've ever seen.
It's never been anything close to this. It's horrendous.
It just seems like every year the bar just gets lower. And last year, I really thought it can't get much worse than this. And this is so much worse than last year. I genuinely cannot understand.
I think we have a shot next year of seeing the robo umpire.
But see, the robo umpire, it will solve the strikes and balls problem. It's not going to solve the guy getting plunked, or I guess it will solve the check swing thing, right? That also regulates check swings.
I don't think it does. I think
that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, that's purely a first or third base umpire.
So this thing right here was more about that than balls or strikes. So, but yeah, I think you will lessen it, but you're never going to completely remove the moron umpire situation. But you can, like you said, lessen it. But this is just asinine. Now I'm okay with it because it's the Yankees. But if you do that again to a team that
that's the thing is if it
isn't
happens,
the Yankees,
and the Yankees are darlings. If it could happen to the Yankees, no one in Major League Baseball is safe from this kind of umpiring.
So, I mean, there's more than just the robot ump that has to happen here. I think there just needs to be. Why can't Major League Baseball take a stand and ask for a culture change in the umpires? The umpire union. There needs to be a bigger change that's just being better at your job. A lot of these guys, these little baseball diamond Napoleons, and it's just ridiculous. You're messing up people's outings to the ballpark to watch a game.
The problem
you shouldn't be part of the game. What's going on down there should be what it is.
The problem you have is at the top. So the commissioner is probably in bed with the MLB umpires. I mean, as far as their union, and the commissioner he doesn't care about this.
I don't ever want to see that tape.
Yeah, I know, but he doesn't care about this game. He's done so many negative things to this game. He just needs to go away. But we're stuck with him until 29, which is horrendous.
Yeah, and it's weird because we talk about commissioners and they're like, oh, the commissioner's job is to make money, so it doesn't matter. Like, how is this making money?
It's not.
It's not. But I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Ralph. But it's just like that's.
No, you're right. I mean, and
always feel free to interrupt, Ralph.
What's going to be fun is if they institute this the way they're doing it in some of the minor league areas where it's a robo ump that's there. The umpire calls balls and strike, but you can challenge him pretty constantly about how he's doing.
Use the robot all the time.
I think they will eventually, but I think they're going to probably put it into play with a challenge first. It's in AAA this year too now. It's gone into AAA. So after this year, I think you see it in the majors. It's going to happen.
And I wonder if it'll stop some of the ego trip problems too, because I saw a couple of plays of them using it, and the ump is confidently wrong. And then the guy asks for a review and they check it. And of course he's right. And the ump just looks deflated at that point. It's just you no longer solely control the game.
I think what it's going to do, and it's interesting to see when you're watching AAA, I think what it's going to do is make ERAs go up because pitchers are having a tough time pitching around these robo umps, these strike zones.
Mm-hmm.
Walker Buehler is a prime example. He was doing a rehab in AAA and he struggled with that system big time. He had a ton of walks, and the guy doesn't walk anybody because those edge pitches are so important, and these guys are just barely missing. And guys that are batting are just sitting there letting it go because they realize they have an exact thing umpiring it now, so it won't call it a strike. So
against the spread says Randy, if you're listening, stay up, brother. Your weather equipment was not faulty. The hell it wasn't. Sean McLaughlin said it was 100 degrees. He says, no, I had the high temp registered at 97 yesterday in Central Phoenix. You had it registered. What, on your back patio thermostat? He says the National Weather Service gets their data from Phoenix, from Sky Harbor, and the heat island effect there is at the highest level in the valley. By the way, Ralph, I liked your show on Saturday. I always tune into your broadcast for the last 30 seconds before I listen to it without interruption.
Wow. Come on, man.
Which is a new show on CBS Sports Radio that is captivating the attention of Valley listeners.
Well, it's a shame because you missed a great show with some great topics.
I like Ralph's show a lot.
It was really good.
Well, it's not CBS anymore, by the way. It's Infinity.
And also they don't pay me because if they were, I need to demand some checks. I need to call some folks at Infinity and demand some things.
I should demand some things there too, but
we got to take a break. And when we come back, more baseball stuff. I'm just going to ignore you, Ralph. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
As the NBA playoffs continue in round number 1, the Boston Celtics and the Denver Nuggets are the betting favorites to be the NBA Finals this June. That matchup is at plus 210. The Celtics and the Oklahoma City Thunder, a matchup of the top 2 teams in each conference, is at plus 700. Celtics and the Los Angeles Clippers, the third best bet at plus 800. Celtics and the Minnesota Timberwolves are plus 1,000. Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks plus 1,300. The Milwaukee Bucks against the Denver Nuggets is at plus 1,700. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Stirring fiber, exercising, frequent trips to the store for more laxatives and fiber. Sounds like your constipation with belly pain is a lot to manage. But if your symptoms that keep coming back are signs of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C, ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
You're expanding your business and need to add to your fleet. Maybe you need another semi-truck or trailer. Don't have the cash? I can help. I'm Dylan Cohen at JR Capital, and we offer no money down financing on new and used trucks and trailers. Whether you're an owner-operator or a fleet manager, I'll get the vehicles you need with a simple application and same-day approval. It's faster and easier than asking your banker. Call me, Dylan Cohen, at 602-834-7353. Or visit moneyradio.com and click on Finance with Dylan.
AZ Preps 365, your source for all the news, info, highlights, and more. Athlete news and interviews. Talk with coaches. Keep you up to date with the changes, moves, upcoming events, and more. AZ Preps 365, Arizona's ultimate prep sports show. If you miss a minute, you miss a lot. AZ Preps 365, Saturday mornings 8 till 10 on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. And always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
With Spring Black Friday savings at the Home Depot, you can give your lawn or garden beds a pop of color and protection. Right now, get a special buy on Scott's Earth Grow Mulch, 5 bags for just $10. Help your soil retain moisture longer with color that lasts up to 12 months. Shop Spring Black Friday savings for a special buy on Scott's Earth Grow Mulch, 5 bags for just $10 at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Hi, I'm Ralph Romano.
And I'm Neil Lynch.
And we're the Weekend Warriors.
So, Ralph, what are the Weekend Warriors all about?
Well, we talk about sports.
National sports?
Of course.
Regional sports?
Sure.
Arizona sports?
Yeah. And we also interview local athletes, coaches, and sports-related business owners to share their amazing stories.
But what if they don't have an amazing story?
Then we talk about something else. You know what, Neil? You're fired.
Again? Well, listen in for great sports talk, amazing interviews, and to see if I have a job next week.
You won't. It's the Weekend Warriors every Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Big George just told me the Diamondbacks are winning 2-0 right now in St. Louis. Nice. Thank you for that, George. Appreciate that. So it's not Hensley Mulin's fault. You know, Hensley, am I saying his name right, by the way? Hensley Mullins, the hitting coach for the Rockies, I guess he got on this plane. It was a charter plane. For the Rockies to go from Denver to Toronto. And I don't know if he's like, hey, guys, can I sit in the cockpit there? Or if they're like, hey, you're a good guy. Come on in the cockpit here. And he posted up this video of him. Hey, had some fun in the cockpit on our flight from Denver to Toronto. Thanks to the captain and the first officer of our United charter that allowed me this great experience. And then United saw that and lost their minds. You're not supposed to do that. They're like, we are deeply disturbed at what we see in that video, a clear violation of our safety and operational policies. The plane was on autopilot, But he was sitting there. He's like, "What does this do?" And everybody could have died. That's what they're. You're not supposed to let people just. If you come in and sit in the cockpit while it's on the ground and get a picture, hey, it was nice of them. That's fine. They don't want you in there. You people who are not pilots or co-pilots, when it's in the air, people could die.
I think that's a very fair thing to ask.
So
Hot
now
take.
the pilot and the co-pilot has been suspended. Everybody's like, well, the Rockies will have to take a look at this. No, they don't. If I'm on a plane and they're like, hey, you want to sit down? Or if I ask and they let me, that's not on me. That was your bad decision. So this guy should not be any kind of trouble. He probably didn't know any better.
Like if the pilots were at a game and then they wanted to, tell a runner what to do and you let them, that's you being dumb. Then you just reverse those roles. It's the same thing.
He should be more worried about the job he's doing with the Rockies bats than
Which is bad.
241 batting
they
average.
can't hit, and that's just this year. Like last year was also bad.
Are they the worst team in baseball right now? Is it the Rockies?
Potentially.
It's close. It's real close.
Yeah, you need to worry about that. You also need to worry about the fans trying to mess things up for you. I posted this on my Twitter at RadioPal1580. And there's a picture of some fan interference that about cost them the game. And I don't know have you seen that? You guys seen that video? Take a quick. I don't think that is fan interference because so here's what happens. This is like 2 outs, and in the ninth, and it's a scoreless game, and all of a sudden holy crap, man. Stallings hits this ball deep in the left, and it could go all the way, and it's going right there by the fence. This guy reaches up, he's going to try. If the fan had not been there, I contend he was not going to have enough ups to get that ball. The fan came in sideways. He didn't reach down. He came in sideways above where the catcher's mitt was, and he had the ball, and then he lost the ball. I don't think that's fan interference. I think that, if it bounces off of certain heights in a stadium, they call it a home run, right? If it hit in a certain state, like where if it goes above this line and hits it, that's a home run, even though there's a thing there. This fan reaches up straight across horizontally, doesn't try to mess with the player. He's just trying to catch that ball.
Right.
I don't think that was fan interference.
It's not. I just watched it. It's not. That's a home run.
They called it fan interference.
Yeah, that's BS.
And they pulled the score. Now it worked out for the Rockies because they did end up winning the game later. But that's just another. That was a group effort of a bad call.
Yeah, because now you're looking at the review and you're watching it in New York. I mean, you can see it clearly. I'm watching it. That's absolutely a home run. He touched it over the yellow line.
Well, mark this 5:28 on a Monday, April 22nd. Ralph and I actually agreed on something.
Yeah, we do.
And not ironically.
No.
Like legitimately.
Yeah, legitimately agreed. That's a very, very bad call.
Yep.
And it's one that might be easy to pass over just because it is the Rockies. By the way, they do have the worst record in baseball.
Like 220 something.
Yeah, 5 wins.
I hope we play them again soon. We play the Rockies a lot.
They're in the division, so yeah, you'll play them a lot. They are the worst team in the division. They're the only team in the division without double-digit wins. They're the only team in Major League Baseball with just 5. So,
wow, Marlins.
They're not even tied for the bottom.
Yeah,
Marlins are close, but boy,
just lost the game to the Rockies. So,
the Astros.
So for whatever that tells you.
Mm-hmm. Ringless Joe says, at this point, what? What's that?
The White Sox are the worst.
Oh, never mind. I
They're
didn't
3
even
and
see
18.
the White Sox. That is an
They've only
impossible
won
number.
3 games.
They're 3 and 18.
Oh
I just saw that.
I can't imagine.
Yikes!
If I had to watch White Sox baseball, oh man.
Ringless Joe says, at this point, getting hit by a sledgehammer would be less painful than being a Suns fan. They had the worst loss of all the game 1 matches. They looked completely outclassed out there.
Are we really going to do this about a game 1? Are we seriously doing this?
Overreaction? Yes.
The worst.
Yeah,
they had
Lakers
the
are
worst
the worst team.
game 1 loss ever. Like, are we?
Well, no,
Are
it
we-
was. It's a true statement. There's nothing he said that's not true.
It's not true. It's true.
It
It
is
just
true.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's untrue. I'm just saying this woe is me. It's a game.
No, Ingles Joe might hate the.
It's
the-
so
the
true they're
Suns.
not playing tonight. They pushed the game tonight because how bad it was.
Yeah, it was supposed to be tonight. They all agreed.
They had to put it in that.
Nah, they're trying to sprinkle the games out.
No,
so
that's
that-
not the reason. Jim. I've had,
so they can
absolutely
cram
not.
as many commercials in these
Because it
games
was
as
so bad.
possible.
I don't like the gaps of time in between these games.
It's
I know
too
Randy.
long.
Randy hates it too.
Yeah,
but
it's and he the thing I think that Randy blames the players. Like, it's got nothing to do with the players. It's money. If all the games are on at the same time, you can't watch all the games. If I spread them out, you can watch more games, and then I can make you watch all the commercials for all the games.
I'm not watching a Laker game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you can say no, but that's what they're thinking.
they
And
playing tonight?
basketball junkies will.
I'll like turn it on to see the scores, and I'll turn it off real fast.
Hold on a second here.
I'm
I'm
watching-
definitely watching that
I'm
game.
going to watch the Kings tonight. I'm pulling for the Kings tonight. I'm not even going to watch it.
Boy, this Cavaliers Magic game, by the way, just completely out of hand. The Cavs are just beating the Magic to death, which is sad because my boy Paolo, he's going down in flames.
I honestly just don't. I just don't care. I don't care about what happens to them. Let's see.
I like basketball, so this is just for me. But like, look, man. Oh, ooh,
Wow.
Sixers Knicks.
I am totally going to watch the. That's on
No.
TNT, so that's
That's on
what-
TNT. Yeah,
It's
I'm
gonna be
gonna, and
blackout.
I'll tweet you and text you quite a bit, Ralph.
I'm going to be watching the LA Kings, so please, it's going to be blacked out.
Well, then you've got to know what's happening.
Nope.
It is my duty to tell you
My
what
phone will
is
be turned off.
happening.
Since you have your hands full with the Kings, Jeffrey will let you know what's going
I
on.
got
with the
your
Lakers.
back, man.
Turning my phone off.
So you,
Beer
you don't have
Bob,
the channel.
Beer Bob makes a really great point. He says, "Would anybody really miss the Rockies if something did happen to that plane?" It's a good point, but there
Well,
might be
the-
some
well, the-
people on
the
the ground
Rockies-
that got hurt.
Yeah, and also other people on the plane that didn't have anything to do. The
Oh,
Rockies
no, it was
weren't-
chartered. It was chartered.
Oh, was it the Rockies?
Yeah.
How
Were
about
all
the
on
family
the plane?
members?
Okay.
Against the Spread says, good thing that manager wasn't on mushrooms and cut the engines. If any manager ever should be allowed to fly, it'd be coked up Ron Washington from the Rangers. He'd be like Denzel in the movie Flight.
Trying to land that thing upside down.
Hookabody says, the Mavericks game wasn't any better. I guess this is my monthly check-in, Jeffrey. Well, you're early, but okay, sure. All right, listen. I talked about this before, and I like, I was trying to figure out who's my new hockey team going to be. Who's my new, because the Coyotes don't exist anymore.
Kings.
No, it's not going to be the Kings. And I don't know that I'm going to choose, but it's going to be either New York Police Department or the New York Fire Department, because those games are just epic every time. The fights are incredible. I don't even know if it's good hockey. I just know it was,
You just know that they had a fight and then a hockey game broke out.
tons of fights. It's like even after the game was over, they're like, boom, fight. Just tons and tons of good old fashioned brawls. I don't know why the fire department and the police department don't like each other, but
It's
I'm
not
glad.
It's not that.
Hmm.
I played hockey forever, for like 30 years. And there's something about putting on a hockey uniform and getting on the ice where you just lose your mind.
But it's always been this way between the NYPD and the NYFD. Every time they've played hockey, they've been doing this
Ralph-
for a lot of years.
Ralph is making the argument that it's been like this for everybody that puts on a
It
hockey
is.
uniform.
I played amateur hockey. I'm telling you, I led leagues in penalty minutes for fighting, and I'm not that guy. But it just happens. There's something about it. But I was a center, and you're sitting there, and a goalie's pushing you. You turn around and just slug him because he's like, "Stop hitting me, you jack!" And you just go at it. It's just crazy.
Have you ever been in a fight after the buzzer?
Yeah, I actually knocked out a police officer in a game. He pissed me off so bad, I knocked him out. His whole team came after me.
You're nervous leaving the parking lot going, it's going to happen. It's going to happen right here, isn't it?
He told me he was a cop, and I go, "Yeah, and how?"
Yeah.
Because in that moment, you've lost your mind.
You're not a cop right now. You're a hockey player, so you're getting knocked out.
I want to know if there's like is there somewhere online I can watch this game?
I have
earlier?
video. Yes, too much video.
That's amazing.
It is
I wanna
pretty
see
amazing.
that. Hey, but okay, let's talk a little college stuff real fast because I know this is Keon's forte. But this is the king of nobody gives a damn and it means nothing. Herm Edwards got a show cause penalty for 3 years from the NCAA. The show cause penalty was really him being a bad coach. So I don't think they can punish Herm Edwards more than reality can. He's not coming back. He's not going to coach ever again.
He's not going to coach. No one's going to hire him to coach. He should not have been hired here to coach because he doesn't like recruiting. Like, that's your number one job as a coach. Like, most coaches now are struggling with step 2, which is keeping the guys after you've recruited them with the transfer portal and everything. Herm wasn't even on step 2. He was stuck on step 1, just recruiting the guys that you want to play for you. Antonio Pierce is doing all the heavy lifting there. And then of course, I don't know how committed he was to like X's and O's either, to be honest. It just seems like he was checked out all the time. But yeah, like Herm was on his way out regardless. And the show cause penalty, like he's never coming back to coach in college sports. He's got the job at ESPN. He gave the college thing a try, and he's now back on TV. It's a comfortable job. He doesn't have to travel. He doesn't have to fly anywhere, go to, some kid's house in Alabama and try to convince him to play at ASU. Like, none of that stuff has to happen anymore. This doesn't affect him in any way.
Mom is a cranky man on the porch. Nobody wants Herm Edwards at their house either. You know what I'm saying? It just seems like
he shows up to your house frowning, and you're just like, oh boy.
Would you like some lemonade? And he might be enjoying it, but he has that resting, I smelled a fart face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hookamati says Ralph played hockey. That explains a lot about how he thinks. Too many concussions. Well, I played hockey when I was a kid. Nothing like what Ralph did. Ralph seriously played hockey.
I traveled and played. I was pretty young.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
All right. So Herm Edwards, show cause penalty, whatever. Who cares? This I care about, but then I didn't care about it. Now I'm like, am I supposed to care about it? Remember how happy I was to hear that another Manning was coming down the pipe? And I thought, oh, we got to figure out how the Colts can suck just right to get Arch Manning. I want another Manning. And then, of course, he goes over to Texas where, Keon's school. And, then he's just like, meh. He's not doing anything. It is like underwhelming. You see him in some of the practices. He was in a game for like 3 seconds. And he just wasn't really, I don't know, not coming out like we thought he would. And then now he was in the spring game, and they're like, oh, yeah, Arch Manning just put on a clinic, 3 touchdowns, and he had a great time, a great outing at that. In fact, he threw one guy a touchdown, a 29-yard play right there. And so, what's going on here? Am I supposed to get excited about this? Or because I feel like I shouldn't. Like the spring game, it's like no big deal, right?
It's everywhere. It's kind of a big deal because it's like the first time you're really seeing players make that leap from whatever class they were. You're making the jump from freshman to sophomore.
The defense really trying, though.
Yes, because they're all trying to be starters.
355 yards and 3 touchdowns.
All of this stuff contributes to whether or not you even start in games. You absolutely are trying. Yeah, you get roasted in the spring game.
Is he now your starter?
He's not, because Quinn Ewers is on the roster. I just think people are overlooking Quinn Ewers. They see Manning and just think he should immediately leapfrog Quinn.
I feel like he should immediately leapfrog Quinn.
Quinn is a 5-star quarterback too. He's older. He was there first. So of course he knows the team better. He's bigger and stronger because he's been in the weight room sooner. It's just like, of course Quinn Ewers is the best option at quarterback, but Arch made a case to take his job. And I think that is absolutely huge. But Arch didn't play last year, not because Arch can't play, but because Quinn was playing incredibly well.
Can you give me some sort of a prediction so my Colts can sort this out and suck at the right moment to get him?
My guess is Arch plays next year.
Yeah.
At Texas. This is Quinn's last year.
And so how long will Arch Manning play in college?
2 years.
So he'll play 2 years?
And unless next year's just, he drops in and just rips it up, in which case, look, you go if you can go.
2 years.
But it seems like Cooper, his dad, actually does want him to play, do the proper college thing. Don't transfer.
You seen that clown ass on the Fox morning shows? I don't think you need to listen to Dad. Listen to Eli. Listen to Peyton. Don't listen
morning shows.
No, not not news on the football show. The Cooper Manning Hour.
I don't know that at all. No,
I've never seen that. I've never watched that. Okay, so Sunday mornings there's the pregame show with Terry Bradshaw and Howie Long and Michael Strahan. But then the hour before that, that angry girl and just a bunch of guys, who are just random. And on that, he does like a little comedy thing, which I've seen probably every version of that for the last 2-3 years, yet to see the comedy. So I'm just, I don't think anybody needs to listen to Cooper, man.
But in terms of knowing what it takes to go through the process, he would have a better idea of that than the rest of us. Well, I don't care that he's not funny.
And then us, yeah. Cooper, no, not more than us, not less than us. Eli and Peyton are the ones that Arch should be listening to. I'm sure that Arch Manning has had this conversation with both Eli and Peyton individually or together. I wish you were my real dad.
I don't think that that's the case at all. But regardless, I just
go ahead.
The guy.
Go ahead. Google the Cooper Manning hour. Watch a few of those and tell me tomorrow if you feel the same way.
Okay, I will do that.
I wouldn't let him park my car.
I just think that him not being funny has nothing to do with whether or not his advice on his kid going through college is good.
It means everything.
They're absolutely unrelated.
And looking at Eli and Peyton on their little TV show there, which they got extended for 10 years, that tells you everything you need to know. Why don't they invite him on? They don't, because he's dumb. Hook'em Hottie says, I was at the spring game. Arch Manning looks good, but still has another year or so of development. All right. Okay.
But you have a luxury if you have 2 5-star quarterbacks. You can actually, with the younger guy, just take it slower. Like, how many teams have ruined guys because they threw them in as freshmen and they got beat up, they got hit a ton, they got a little punch drunk, and then you just don't have the same player anymore. And then the kid's transferring because he's not getting anything out of playing there.
Yeah, but it's almost required now.
It almost is,
right?
But the fact that Arch isn't moving on, that
he's an anomaly. I agree.
I lost the quarterback job, but I didn't transfer immediately. That's going to help him.
Big George thinks Arch Manning should go to the transfer portal and play for ASU.
I mean,
I think he wants to win, though.
It's just he's staying in Texas. He's not moving anywhere. That's our guy. And find your own quarterback.
I can't really argue anything anyone else is saying about this.
I do think Dillingham has got something really cool brewing at ASU, but that doesn't mean someone should jump in the transfer portal and head to ASU sight unseen.
Yeah, I'm not going to advocate that either. Boom Shakalaka says, I'm interested to hear who fellow Chargers fan Ralph thinks they'll draft in the first round. Before you object, Ralph, they play in LA. They
are an LA team.
No, they're not an LA team. They're a San Diego team.
They're in LA.
You know who else used to be in San Diego?
The Clippers, in them.
Yeah. So
they belong in the Chargers belong in San Diego, not LA. Nobody likes them.
Any team from California that's currently winning is Ralph's favorite team.
The Clippers as a team name makes infinitely more sense in San Diego.
Sure, it does. But in LA, nobody likes the Chargers. Nobody goes.
This is also a fact.
No one cares about the Chargers. Who they draft? Who cares? I don't know who they're going to.
I got nothing against them.
They should trade up and draft JJ McCarthy. That's what they should do.
Jerk-face Jim Harbaugh.
I saw some asinine thing where they were talking about them trading with the Vikings, getting their 2 picks and giving them Herbert so that they can get McCarthy. I'm like, why would that ever happen?
You misread it. It said they're going to give them herpes.
Herpes might be better, for the 2 picks. But
I mean,
I saw that and I was like, that's insane.
Just that they're not giving up Herbert. I don't care what anybody says.
For McCarthy, really?
Yeah. I don't care how loud Jim Harbaugh is screaming in that room. The GM is going to hand in the card and it's going to say either we're moving back or we're going to stick there and take running back, whatever.
We are running very late, so we must take a break. We come back. We don't have time for NFL stuff, really. All we can do is man, my mouth just stopped working. Somebody tell me what I'm doing on this date in Big Georgia sports history. I know that.
That's the big one. We could probably sneak some football in there.
Yeah,
maybe
not when you let me go the 6 minutes late.
It's your fault.
And now it's
my
like
fault. We didn't talk football in the last 2 segments.
I didn't see you do this once.
He's blaming you
because I didn't.
The Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-694-1010. That's 1-800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-694-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm personal price plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Dude Wipes presents Bathe Your Bum. While TP may appear to clear your rear, it actually leaves behind dry, pilly gifts clinging inside your rump's rounded rift. There's no bigger bummer than a B-crack that's whack. You need extra large wet strings for an effective attack. To fully wash stains, stinkies, crispies, and crumbs, it's time to ditch the dry paper and bathe your bum. Your dump dent deserves it so plump and so round. Use wet, flushable Dude Wipes for the best clean, pants down.
Celebrating 30 years of AmeriCorps looks like building lifetime change makers in Arizona communities. From serving children alongside First Things First to Executive Director of Prevent Child Abuse Arizona. From the Pinal County Sheriff's Office to the Governor's Office, serving with AmeriCorps today creates limitless potential for every new member to lead Arizona tomorrow. Where will AmeriCorps take you? Join the movement by signing up at serve.az.gov. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Youth, Faith, and Family.
Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how. Learn now. Let Dell Wamsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Dell's team live in Phoenix 2 days only at the Embassy Suites Phoenix Billboard. Saturday and Sunday, April 27th and 28th. Register now at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. That's GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Enter promo code 2024 for a special discount offer. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Code 2024.
Download the Fanatic app.
News, scores, social media updates, and more on your smartphone, on your tablet. The free Fanatic app, available at the Google Play Store or the App Store and at 1580thefanatic.com.
Dave Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Against the Spread says, here's a short list of things I'd rather do besides listen to Cooper Manning for an hour. 1, pet a rattlesnake. 2, drink Mexican tap water. 3, get struck by lightning. 4, let my son stay at Michael Jackson's house. 5, take a Penthouse magazine to Saudi Arabia smuggled in a Quran.
Jeez.
Now, keep in mind, the Cooper Manning hour is really just like a couple of minutes, but it feels like an hour. So thank you for that. Against the Spread, 888-368-1580. Ringless Joe says, it's hilarious that every time Luka Doncic underperforms, his brain-dead fanboys come out of the woodwork and say, it's because he needs some help. Never mind that everyone in the Mavs plays better when he's on the bench, and he has the ball almost every possession, though. Oh, if only he had some help. Okay, Ringless Joe. Okay.
I mean,
I just don't care about the Mavericks.
I don't really care either, but how can you say he needs help? Like, who is saying this?
Maybe he needs help, like, you know, if you don't get help at charter, get help somewhere. Maybe it's like that.
Before Kyrie, you could have made that argument, but like, there's another guy on that floor that scored 30 points too. So I don't know what else he could do.
We're going to talk football for a few minutes. We don't have more than a few minutes. We're going to talk football for just a minute. Navy Devil, no, we're not going to talk about the Broncos uniforms. You're right when you say they are horrible. All they are is a slight change.
I haven't seen them.
Okay, I guess we are going to talk about it.
You might not even notice.
So take a look. Okay, so can you, on the stripy side, this side here, those are the old ones. And then the new ones are on the other side, on the right.
Well, they're better because they don't have that stupid pointed stripe anymore.
They don't have the stripe, and that's it. And they put a teeny little mountain on the sleeve.
It's better
for the Rocky Mountains.
It always looked like they had the legs
But the
on the top.
Yeah, but the line, that's a slimming effect, and I appreciate that.
I don't for that. It's just the uniforms. They were boring before, and somehow they feel more boring to me. Like it's just
yes. Has the helmet changed?
The helmet is the same, I think, and then it's got on the front part. It's got the 5,280 for the.
Oh, I thought it had a white helmet. I thought I saw.
That's dumb as hell. 5,280. You know what they need to do? Go back to the original. Just go back to the throwbacks. Get the throwbacks and keep them, and people will love you.
They were nice.
Nike has tried to make every NFL uniform the most minimalist uniform, and they're all boring.
You know what?
They're
Those
just boring.
Zach Wilson's
Colts have
gonna
always
look
been
good in
boring.
those.
But if we ever get rid of our stripes, I'm out.
Culture boring period. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
your face is boring.
No, I'm just saying.
The thing is, like, every team in the league can't do that. It's just a big. You've got one main color and then two shoulder stripes like that. Everybody can't look like that, and Nike would love for that. Apparently,
yeah.
I don't want to talk about uniforms right now. We can talk about uniforms another time. We're running out of time. I'm just going to read off a couple of quick things here because I find them interesting. So these are reported by like Schefter and other people. Arizona general manager Monty Ossenfart has advertised with the number 4 overall pick. His team is open for business, but no sales are expected to be final until the Cardinals are on the clock. So that is why not? Why not
sense.
Put it out there?
That's due diligence. I mean, that's just smart.
He's got the easiest job. He thinks he doesn't need a quarterback. I wish they would take a quarterback, but I guess nobody's good enough to take it for that matters. So you might as well. You either you take Harrison Jr. or you just go get yourself a buttload of picks. His job couldn't be easier this year.
I mean, yeah. You still got to land those buttload of picks. That you don't just get to trade.
He's a wheeler. He's a dealer.
He's a wheeler. He's a dealer. But when you make those picks, you still have to hit them. So it's easy in the sense that you know what your position is, but you still have to draft the correct players in those spots. So the job still has some effort to it.
So here's somebody who probably has talked to Monty Ossenfart. The Philadelphia Eagles executive vice president and general manager Howie Roseman says he's been calling other NFL teams and potentially trying to move up into the first round of the NFL draft. Now, the Eagles have a pick at 22, but they're trying to move up. What is their need? I mean, they don't need a quarterback, so they don't have to go all the way up, but that is something to keep an eye on. The Eagles are looking to make a move. And then according to Donnie, and I don't know if this is a rumor or not, because somebody says according to Adam Schefter, but I haven't seen the Adam Schefter post on this, saying the Vikings have called the Patriots and attempted to move up to pick number 3. Attempted. They have not succeeded because there's been no announcement. But it says Schefter stated that some around the league believe if the Vikings get as high as 3, their preference would be Drake May.
Yeah, I can understand that. If you get as high as 3, you're probably not getting Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels. So Drake May would be the guy who's left. And just there are question marks about JJ McCarthy. Like there's this weird push to just have him be a top 5 quarterback that I don't fully understand. I'm not in the interview process. I haven't asked him to watch film and break it down, all that stuff, but it just seems odd to me. Drake May is got an incredibly high ceiling.
So, I hope bad things for the Vikings. I never did before, but now Donnie makes me hope bad things.
Donnie's karma seems to indicate that you don't have to hope. It's just going to happen.
Terry Oakey seems to think that if I watch this Lakers game tonight, I'm going to see a lot of free throws because the Lakers get a lot.
Well, that's because of the style of play. I mean, they're supposed to get a lot.
Flopping. Yeah, gotcha.
No, they drive the basket. That's what they do.
And flop. I get it.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for On This Flop in Big George's Flop Flip history. Sorry, I was thinking about the Lakers. Back in the year 1898 for the first time in baseball history, and still this day, only one of 2 times this will happen. 2 no-hitters occurred on the same day when the Orioles, Jay Hughes, and the Reds, Theodore Brinstenstein, both kept their opponents hitless. Would not happen again until 1990, when the Athletics, Dave Stewart, And the Dodgers' Fernando Valenzuela accomplished the same feat.
That's
right. Yeah, okay.
It's kind of a big deal.
It's impressive. Yeah,
I remember that day in the night.
You had two no-hitters going on the same day on the same game.
I can see why it's rare.
It's incredible. Yeah, it's one no-hitter is already tough. Two in one game is crazy.
Just saying, and there wasn't anything more interesting going on today. Just
you. I don't know what to tell you. If you're not impressed by that, I can't.
It's just. I mean, a no-hitter is always impressive. Always. And having two in the same day, you're like, oh, yeah, okay. Well, that's fine.
It's impressive.
Yeah, I thought maybe that would happen more often. Because it's not like we don't get no hitters.
Well, yeah, but they're
of course
rare.
Nowadays you can't, right? Because nobody pitches a full game, right?
It's very rare.
Yeah, I mean, very rarely, but we still get them every now and then. But it's every now and then. And those people were watching a no-hitter basically go on every time a pitcher was out on the field, which is crazy.
Maybe it was more about the fact that there was a Dodger involved.
Why? Because Fernando Valenzuela did it?
I remember watching him as a kid.
Yeah, he was amazing.
It made me like, man, you don't have to be in shape to play baseball.
That's true.
Big George says, by the way, Diamondbacks up now 3-0 on the St. Louis Cardinals in the top of the fifth. All right, cool. Go Diamondbacks.
Cardinals are bad. Handle your business.
Yep.
Basically what it is.
Thanks for just, pooping on it. Yeah,
Why?
say Cardinals are bad. Handle your business. You say, "Yay, go Diamondbacks."
Handle your business.
I just saw the liquor
don't
game's
you want them to
canceled.
go back to the World Series? Beat the bad teams. That's how you do it.
Oh, I do. Absolutely.
That-
But you didn't have to add that part. You just say, "Yay, go Diamondbacks."
Why?
Why are you going to just remind us?
Beat the team.
St. Louis is bad.
That's what good teams do is beat bad teams.
Not really. Not always.
That's what they're supposed to do. You win those series.
Dodgers, beat teams and then lose in the playoffs. That's how that works. See you guys tomorrow. It's Daily Blender, 1580, The Fanatic. Dodgers suck.
Just Capital is a nonprofit that tracks which companies